Welcome to LoganRobo's channel, broadcasting live on twitch.tv/LoganRobo and on youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Tonight's game is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Please remember, due to Phoenix Wright's appearance in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, this game technically takes place within the Marvel Cinematic Universe multiverse saga. Thank you for tuning in to twitch.tv/LoganRobo and youtube.com/@LoganRobo. Please enjoy the stream. And we are live! How is everybody doing? Welcome. I need this. Today's been a bit of a downbeat day, so I'm looking forward to hanging out with all of you. How are you? Let me take a look at both of our chats. First of all, over on Twitch, Extemporaneous was here early with a lurk and a random Transformers check. Mandroid, I believe he's from the Earthspark series, which I mentioned before. We've only seen one episode of. They had it locked behind Paramount Plus's paywall, but I think he was the bad guy in that. He was a man who then augmented himself with robot parts. It was a man droid instead of an android, you get it? Also, would you rather be able to fly like a bird or swim like a dolphin? I think we might have had this one before, and I will stick to what I believe would have been my previous answer of fly like a bird. Simply because I think it's more useful. You have to have a body of water around to swim like a dolphin. Like, you walk outside, there's air to fly around. There's not necessarily a place to go swimming, so I feel like fly like a bird would be more useful. Swimming like a dolphin is very situational. It depends, though, if they have the drawbacks. Like, flying like a bird, does that mean my bones are hollow and I'm really light and I have to eat like multiple times my own body weight in food every day? If you're a dolphin, does that mean, because wasn't that a thing in the Orla the Orca case we did in, was it Dual Destinies? Yeah, Dual Destinies, right? Where we learned that the whales, and I assume dolphins might be similar, their organs don't crush each other because they're buoyant in the water, and you take them out of the water and they die. So maybe either would be bad. But thank you for lurking, Extemporaneous! Then Rukov says, here comes Logan Robo, bright green, endlessly flexible and always ready to bend over backwards to save the day. He stretches, squishes, and slides through impossible situations, usually with his trusty orange pony by his side. Wait, that's not Logan Robo, that's Gumby. Oh man, nothing resonates with the youth of today like a Gumby reference. How you doing, Rukov? Oh, it says, hey, Longa, and then the whole command making dinner right now. Not chicken skewers, shockingly. I am shocked. Crepes. Ooh, I like crepes. I have a hard time doing crepes for dinner, though. I feel like that they're more of a dessert thing for me, but maybe it's because I like sweet stuff with them. I'll put on like some jam and maple syrup and whipped cream and stuff like that. I gotta say this though, no disrespect to any family members, but my brother does this thing where he loves crepes as well, but he insists on always pronouncing them crepes, and we'll do it like intentionally emphasizing to kind of show that you're saying it wrong. You shouldn't say crepes, you say crepes, because that's how they say it in France. It's like, yeah, but that's no.
You never can tell. A few years ago, Bob Ross was the rage.
That is true. Maybe if Gumby had a cable access show. Well, I guess he used to have his claymation show. He'll get rebooted someday, then Bob Ross will probably get rebooted. But thank you very much for the 10 bits, Rukov. But yeah, it's like crepes. That crepes are the English word for the French word crepes. It's a loan word, but it's like crepes. Am I wrong, chat? Am I wrong? It's like in France, if they say les États-Unis, we don't say, no, it's pronounced United States. It's like, no, les États-Unis is the French word for the United States. You know, am I wrong? Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see, Grim was here saying hello, residents of the cult, and good afternoon, cult leader Logan. How is our beloved cult leader doing this fine evening? Again, I'm not leading any cults. I am not advocating for cult worship of any kind. Grim says, have a good night, as I'll be slow to chat because I'm playing a game in the background. Oh, what game you playing? I'll be lurking, though, for a bit. Well, thank you for the lurk, Grim. Taco says, I almost just choked on plastic. Why did you have plastic in your mouth? Taco, I don't know if you see on toys, they have choking hazard warnings. You should not open up and play with toys that are intended for children 3 years and older, apparently. Grim says hello to Taco. I don't remember if you were Taco or not because they're always changing their name. Taco says, I'm Taco, hello, one of the OG cult members. Grim says, then hello, Taco. Taco says, hello. Shiro said, let's get Logan super far behind a chat again to da. And then Grim says, I'm playing Roblox because I play Hollow Knight anymore. You can't play it anymore? Like, at all? Just because you've, like, beaten it or what? I mentioned before, I've never played Roblox. Let me take another look over Twitch. We'll get into the game soon. I promise. Lurkers. We'll get to the game. I'm excited to say hi to everybody. Magpie says, Magpie flying in. I'm doing art while listening to Logan do stuff right now, working on a design that may go on a traffic electrical boxes in my area. Like, for real? Or like that you graffiti it on and like, don't tell anybody about putting on the electrical boxes. I was doing a possible VTuber design, or earlier I was doing a possible VTuber design though. That's really cool. I wish I knew how to do like rigging to work on VTuber stuff. Quick said, I just got flashbanged by an ad, lol. No! Was it a good ad? Like, was it something useful? I've been getting weird ads. Like, I go on TikTok to see how TikTok is doing, and it'll be like, if you've lost 4, 5, or even more of your teeth, then you need this dental thing. It's like, TikTok, my teeth are fine. Oak saying, I posted 2 TikToks making wombos, word plus combo, and somehow they're now the second most popular thing I've done on the internet. It's hard to predict. Dude, like today's TikTok video is doing like really great with likes, but it's not showing it to anybody. It's one where I may have made a menopause joke with using Susato from the first game, but it's like they're afraid to show it. It's like, it's fine. It's natural. It's okay. Queen says anyway, howdy, Queen Katie. Let's load up the game. So last time we just kind of went around in circles and circles and circles until finally it looks like we are going to be able to have testimony from and a cross-examination of the photographer slash reporter who's been following around Soseki Natsume, and we're pretty sure is the culprit here. His name is, if I remember correctly, Raiten Menimemo. I wonder if he's in our court record yet. Wait, no, gotta go E. Oh, he's not in there yet, huh?
I also got to hang out with friends last night and I beat them all in Mario Kart.
Hey!
2 of them had never played Mario Kart and I still taught them how to drift, so you are now behind 2 first-time players.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Whenever I've been in the middle of playing it and ask someone, people are just like, just you use this button. Just use that button. And they don't explain it. And then one time in chat, you guys did explain it, but I wasn't playing at the time. And I forgot it. I need to like play it and have somebody explain it at the time. But thank you for the 10 bits. Or I'll just resign myself to never drifting. Also, hang on, is this a different character portrait for Soseki? He's doing his like mewing pose. Did everybody get different character portraits? I assume this has got to be the same one for Jezail Bread. Obviously, Ouchie has a new one for his hair. So maybe, and Osanaga has one for his new swimming suit costume. But yeah, I think that basically recaps it. Nothing really happened last time, except that we finally got around to showing that the reporter is involved. Oh, and I guess we found out there's some poison stolen. Honestly, this is a pretty open and shut case, because she was stabbed in this hut in the back. There's a hole in the back wall right where she was sitting by her
You
back.
press right trigger while making a turn.
Okay, you say while making a turn. What do you mean making a turn? Which way do I point the joystick into the turn? When I press it, do I pull it out of the turn? Like, do I lean into the turn with the joystick? It's like while making a turn. It's not just while making a turn, because I've tried pressing it while making a turn, and that doesn't cause me to drift. See? See, you did exactly what I said. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. I appreciate that. But yeah, so she was obviously stabbed in the back while sitting there. The only thing we got to figure out is if the knife was poison tipped because she was suffering from poison symptoms. I think it's going to turn out it wasn't. The poison got her somehow. It's weird because our client said that Jezebel Brett didn't eat or drink anything, but there's spilled wine. So that may turn out that's how that she got the poison in her system. Because I think we're going to have, because we summoned the reporter and we sent the knife for testing. And I think it's going to turn out that the knife is not going to have any poison on its tip. Okay, the knife is not in our court record, so we can't examine that yet. But does that make sense? Are we all caught up? We all on the same page? I'm gonna read one or two more quick comments, and then we will get into this. Let's see. Magpie says, the idea that the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe annoys me, but I can't say that it's wrong. No, because Phoenix Wright was in that. You know what else? Phoenix Wright has been in other crossover games as well, as have other Marvel and Capcom characters. So they're also probably part of the, crap, what's it called? I've got to Google this. Hey, Judge! Judge, stop doing that just because I moused past the game. Tommy, part of the Tommy Westfall universe. Are you guys familiar with this? The Tommy Westfall universe? I'll reload so I can see what the judge was saying before that. So there was a show, I believe it was it Saint Elsewhere? This old show in like the 70s, maybe 80s, and it very famously ended by revealing that the entire series up to that point was in the imagination of a small autistic child. Okay? It was a big twist ending. The problem is that show had crossed over with other shows, and those other shows had crossed over with other shows, and those other shows had crossed over with even more other shows. And so like basically 90% of all televised fiction is in one autistic child's memory. I guess you could say like, oh, well, the child just was a fan of that show and imagined that crossover, but it's more fun to think that it's all just hallucinations and things like that. So yeah. Oak says, I made girl plus cool plus rock equals girl. I cannot say that. And testosterone plus optical plus illusion, testosteropillusion? That sounds like a music festival. And then Queen Kitty said, had a great time today, finished my Hamtaro game. Oh yes, I finished Ham Heartbreak. So I was planning in August for Lego Star Wars. I gotta ask you, Queen Kitty, because you said this is gonna be your first time experiencing Star Wars. Is it gonna start with episode 1, going all the way through episode 9, or does it go in release order by 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9? Because keep in mind, if you go chronologically, it's going to spoil a lot of the reveals. Because it's like watching the Danganronpa anime in chronological order instead of release order. Because there's a lot of stuff in it where like you're watching episodes 4, 5, and 6 not supposed to know some of the stuff that's revealed. But then when they do the prequels, it's like, well, that's already been revealed, so we can address it and we can talk about it. And yeah, so I'm curious how you're doing that. But I will read more of the chat in a little bit, but let's play some of the game. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Remember Me. Prosecutor, I just want to always sing that as Remember Me from Coco. Prosecutor Ouchie, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh, he's using his sprite when he was trying to hit on Jezebel Brett. Oh?
What news?
Oh, it's got to be about the knife, that there's no traces of poison found on it, yeah.
And why does he look so happy about it? During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoma's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jezebel Brett's life.
Yeah, no poison, right? Excellent! I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, Prosecutor Ouchie is so fast with his hands. If there's any job that needs doing with his hands, he will get that done quickly. He will give very quick hand...
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time. Honestly, we do have some automobiles. I could have used that. I just find rickshaws delightful.
By judging the man's swagger.
Oh, it's Mikotoma. By judging the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results? The dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, had had no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that?
So again, the stabbing and the poisoning were two separate things that were done. I don't know why, and I don't know if they were both done by Raiten Many Memo. But yeah, it's not a poison tip knife. It was just a stabby knife, and poison was something else.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna read a couple more comments in the chat. I already miss you guys. I've been in the game for like 3 minutes. And I miss you guys. Let's see. Queen Gator said, I already read that. Oak said, and Professor Sendy? The inventor of Wombos liked my video. Oh, so that's an actual person. Okay, cool. Shira said, how far behind are we gonna get to Logan today? I don't know. You know what? That's fine by me because that means more time for me to chat with y'all. It's my favorite part of the streams. Queen Gator said, warning! You have 3 testimonies in part 2 of this case. We probably won't get through all that today, but we might. Think we'll finish this case today? Magpie says, android is already masculine and andros, like man, for it to be gender neutral. I think it should be anthroid. I did not know that. So andros? Then where does androgyny come from? Because that feels like it has like a similar root word basis. Oak said Bob Ross already got rebooted. Well, he died, so he got rebooted in heaven. Eggland said, I'm so tired from the parade. How was the parade? Queen with some emotes, and Eggland said, I walked like 15 blocks passing out pride stuff. For a more anti-gay leaning place, we somehow passed out 50 pride badges and like 150 flags. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat real quick. Let's see. Oh, I gotta scroll up a little bit. Oh, I gotta scroll up. Oh, it scrolled without me. Let's see. Grim says, hello, Shiro. Shiro says, hey, Grim. Taco says, I was chewing on some plastic that I actually swallowed it and it got stuck in my throat. You're bearing the lead here. Why were you chewing on plastic?
No, I mean they brought the show back with another guy.
Wait, what? Why? Do they still call it? I guess they just call it Joy of Painting with somebody else. I mean, they replaced Alex Trebek on Jeopardy with Ken Jennings, right? But like so much of the appeal of that show was not just, learning to paint. It was like Bob Ross and how soothing and like sweet and nice he was, right? Think of the 10 bits. I did not know that. Grim says, anyway, I'm lurking now. Thank you for lurk, Grim. Taco says, my birthday's in a week from now. Yeah, you gonna do anything fun? Gonna get any good presents? I got 3 great presents on my birthday. Shira says, happy early birthday. And Taco says, wait, so we might stream on my birthday. What day of the week is it gonna be? Dermo says, hi. Good morning to you, Dermo. How you doing? Okay, let's play some more of the game. I've read requisite chats so I can play some game.
Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with a reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake.
The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. A small knife from the scene of the crime that was found in the victim's back. No trace of poison was found in the blade. So now we can finally examine it, right?
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
We're gonna cut over and Tsutada's gonna go, and then flop down onto the table like Ryunosuke.
Hubbub. We totally called it.
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
All right, I want to examine the knife first. I want to examine the knife. Ouchie. Okay, so here be the knife. Anything we can click, we can click the blood. Anything on the backside, like maybe a button or. Okay, so it looks like we can only click the blood. There's not even a missing tip to it. Nothing chipped off.
Ah, yes. This must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it?
I don't know, Iris seemed to like it in the last game.
I'm having to fight the urge to run under a hot tap and get it clean.
Don't do that! Why, have you done that? You tampering with crime scenes? Doing things like putting cat doors indoors?
The new guy is actually pretty good. Obviously Bob Ross is more iconic, but the new guy is a great artist with a similar energy and has keeping the show alive.
Okay, that's good.
People in the comments are being really mean to him. BC has not Bob Ross, but has bringing the show to new generations by continuing
it, and I think that's nice. Well, that is good that if he's a worthy successor. People always complain about change, and no one other than Bob Ross will ever be as Bob Ross was. So like people looking for that, they've got reruns, I suppose. But I'm glad to hear that he, based on your endorsement, is a good successor. So thank you for the 10 bits, and that is comforting to know.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
It's blood. It's blood. Okay, so that's all we get. Maybe we can examine it later and get even more.
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Oh, it's very, very good.
Very well, officer. Bring in the witness. Okay, we're finally gonna see him, and I keep forgetting who it was. Was it? I think it was Shiro, right? We said that my voice would be good for this guy, but I can't do that. I gotta come up with something else because my voice belongs to Ryunosuke in this one.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case... how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
Because we'll still need to explain why her eyeballs, her pupils were contracted.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Huh?
One thing you don't know about Logan, his idea of a wild night to himself is reorganizing a shelf until the Transformers feel right. And yet he makes it feel so effortless. Stay lonely, my friend.
Okay, you say that, but you don't realize that is literally what I was planning on doing after stream tonight. I need to reorganize my shelves! I was gonna do it last night, but I ran out of time, and I had to go to sleep early because I had to be up early this morning, and you joke, but that is, I wouldn't call it a wild night. I mean, a wild night would be if I'm like also opening up some really cool new ones rather than just reorganizing. But thank you very much for the 10 bits. You hit that on the nose. Okay, so we got this guy, Mini Memo. So he's a newspaper guy. So he makes me think of like newspaper kids that you see in old timey movies where it's like,
Extra, read all about it. Write in Mini Memo of the show you knows. I'm what people like to call a journal. How's that sound for a voice here? Yeah, Mini Memo. Extra.
oh, look at his armband. Look at his armband. That's the same symbol on his armband as on the end of the pen. And RM, write in Mini Memo. It's his pen. Judge, we don't even need to do the cross-examination. Judge. We don't need to. I am both disappointed in the game and impressed with myself for noticing that. Granted, this is the first case of the game. This case does seem a lot more straightforward than the first case in the last game.
You write in Mini Memo, the show you knows. I'm what people like to call a journal. What's a journal, Father? Do you know?
I think it's how people greet each other in Italy. Buongiorno. It's simply a contraction of journalist.
Huh?
Did they really name a journalist writing Mini Memo?
Yes, this is definitely very much a Kingdom of Kurain type of a name from Spirited Justice. However, Quingate had a really cool name fact about this guy, where the name is like very close to the original Japanese name, which was much more punny in Japanese. And so I have to hand it to them. It's like, okay, you managed to get a name that's very similar to the Japanese name, and the Japanese name was a good one. So I can't feel as bad about it. But yes, 100% Oak. Thank you for the 10 bits. And again, I'll be back to the chat soon. Let's play just a little bit more.
I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper, catch those scoops there, so they were in print the next morning. Hey. They don't call me the... Oh, my balloons. Oh, wait, no, crap. I am not a hot clown. Anyone can wear suspenders. They don't call me the hero or the herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. That's right, I'm a nice guy, so why aren't you girls dating me? I'm a nice guy. Although if you reject me, I'll then call you sexist slurs. Nice guy, hey. Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, wasn't it? Hey. Well, what have we here?
How you guys liking this voice? I feel good about it.
I'm sorry. Oh, brace yourselves, people! Many memos sent as a scoop in the offing.
Okay, it's good to see. You can't see because my camera's in the way, but he still has this smear of ink on that part of his hand, which it might just be because of writing.
I also looked it up. The new guy is named Nicholas Hankins and has done 2 seasons so far.
Oh, the new Bob Ross guy.
Apparently the paintings are based on ones Bob Ross made before his death that were never published.
Oh.
So it's finalizing his catalog and bringing his art to newer generations.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's nice. So thank you for the 10 bits and for the more info. So it was Nicholas Hankins. Let me read a couple more comments to the chat, especially since I need to know if you guys approve of the voice for this guy. I'm digging it. It's just the vibe I'm getting. Also, like, look at his biceps. Dude is like scrawny, but he has got some arms on him. You know, you guys can't tell because you only see me from like here up, but I'm gonna say like that is totally what my arms look like. So just so you know. Magpie says, like for real, and I would have and I would be paid money for it. It's a local initiative to beautify the country. That's really cool. Quickita says, Hadley, not a good ad. I don't remember it, lol. On the bright side, it wasn't an Airhead ad. I hate those, like just in general, because I hate Airheads, or you hate what they do for the commercials, like the ones where they inflate the people's heads and stuff. Shiro says, I keep getting ads for random stuff, but I don't pay attention to ads ever so. Said, wait, is it possible to make friends? Teach me your ways. Wait, is possible? Oh, for Mario Kart 2, like Oak was saying. I want to make more friends.
He kinda looks and acts like you, but extra Irish and without horrifying eyeballs.
Well, I mean, his eyes aren't blue. I think, I'm assuming he's probably supposed to be Japanese in this. I'm guessing, because he's in Japan. No. Wait. Are you suggesting that I have stabbed and or poisoned a woman before? In a beach hut? In a little cabana? That is not where I stab and poison people. I'd get sunburned. I think you'd know me well enough by now, but thank you for the 10 bits. Magpie says they did not call Logan the Drift King back in college/rep. Drift King, is that a...
I came back because I didn't know if you thought I was bullying you for the shelf thing.
No!
I was just stating objective fact that your audience might find entertaining and relatable.
No, don't worry. I didn't think it was bad bullying. I said it was very on the nose. You got it. That is literally what I'm planning on doing after the stream tonight, because I've already edited tomorrow's TikTok video, so I'm gonna have time to work on shelf stuff. But thank you, Ruka, for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. Or on YouTube, Shiro says, Dermo! Taco says, Dermo, I'm gonna be Uncle on my birthday. Oh my gosh. Wait, in the sense you're gonna be old? Or in the sense that a sibling of yours is going to be giving birth to a small human on your birthday? Derma says, I've heard of that. That's almost as bad as the "it was all a dream" twist. Oh, the Tommy Westfall thing? It's like a fun, weird, goofy thing. I don't think it was necessarily a good choice for the ending of the series, but it's interesting trivia. Taco says, I hate the twist. I've read a manga, you might know what it is, that had that ending. Basically, very popular manga. Well, there've been all sorts of shows that have done that. Like, are you guys familiar with the kind of old-timey... Well, I guess he's not old time. I think he's still alive, but just very old. Maybe he passed away. Now I'd feel bad if he really passed away. Bob Newhart. He had a sitcom in the 70s, I think, called The Bob Newhart Show. And then after that show ended, he had a sitcom in the 80s called Newhart, which was also starring him, but it was like an entirely new scenario. And its finale was also a very famous thing where the final episode of Newhart ended with his character from the Bob Newhart Show waking up and revealing that the entire series of Newhart was a dream that his character from the Bob Newhart Show had. And so that type of stuff can be like fun. One of the weirdest ones was there was a sitcom. Sorry, I just love classic sitcoms. There was a sitcom in the 90s, Married with Children, with Ed O'Neill, who some of you might know from like Modern Family. And there was a season where the actress playing his wife, Katie Sagal, whom you might know as Leela on Futurama, she got pregnant. The actress got pregnant. So like, okay, well, we're going to add a new kid to the family. And so they had this whole thing in her storyline where she's pregnant and she's going to have a baby to kind of deal with the fact that she's very visibly pregnant in filming that season. But then the problem was that the actress very tragically lost the baby partway through the season. And they're like, oh crap, what do we do now? So they kind of wrote her off screen for most of the season. Like she was just upstairs a lot and you didn't see her. Like there's like, oh, she's just so pregnant up there. And they're like, crap, what do we do? Cause like, and it was just felt like in very bad taste to bring in a baby right after she had just lost her baby. And so that season, I believe, ended with Ed O'Neill's character, Al Bundy, waking up and revealing that whole season had been a dream. But the worst, there was a evening soap opera, Dallas. It had the very famous Who Shot JR that The Simpsons did a riff on with the Who Shot Mr. Burns thing, where one of the characters, J.R. Ewing, played by the guy from, I Dream of Jeannie, he got shot. And I don't know, there's a whole thing that went on. And then like later on after that, they had like a whole season that turned out to be where a character, I think Bobby, had gotten killed off. And then like his girlfriend wakes up and like walks in, Bobby's in the shower, and he's like, oh, you had quite the dream, didn't you? And like a whole season was a dream. So I guess shows do that all the time. I should stop talking about that and I should play some game, because I don't think you guys care about how many TV shows ended up all being a dream later. So my apologies for boring you all.
Brace yourself, people. Many memo senses a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in curiously handsome. Why is she so, I'm straight, but for some strange reason, I am just loving breathing in the pheromones of this obviously male defense attorney.
Please stop taking pictures. I don't have any more poses.
The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in the 5-leg format for the morning edition.
72 point is what I set my font for in my TikTok videos.
Right then, let's start with your name. So start telling me. It's Ryutaro Naruhodo. Boy. In parentheses. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
I love that he's the one asking us all the questions.
What made you want to become a lawyer? My friend not getting executed. I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
Nice to see that she's still remembering Kazuma.
By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi.
Oh, I like that he spelled it out based on what like the actual Japanese characters would be, rather than just like spelling it out in the romanization. I like that.
The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. I love the taste of pencil there. Yeah, back in nowadays, we still put actual lead in it. Oh, I love heavy metal poisoning. No, the readers won't buy that. Why?
Witness!
Yeah?
What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. I mean, if he's smart, he'll just admit it. He'll say, yeah, he was skulking around, because, like, we got the crack there to obviously pair it up to his camera. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you gotta be fast. Gotta be fast, gotta go fast. I'm like Sonic the Hedgehog, see the color here? That's my real color. I'm covered in flesh tone makeup, that's where it's wiped off. It's like Jack Nicholson is the Joker. Fast legs to run with and fast hand to write with. If it's no good if you don't write it down, I always say, ha-ha! Check out my guns. Not actual guns, my arm guns. Guns are forbidden for the general public back in nowadays in Japan. That's what I call my many memoism.
Many memoism, sure. Why not? Wait, let me read a couple more comments in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, Magpie was saying they did not call Logan the Drift King back in college/rap. What is that reference to? I'm not sure. I feel like Draft King, isn't that is that a gambling site? I don't know. Queen says, I wonder if Logan will figure something out regarding some names tonight, lol. Is there something else with writing many memo? Jezail Brett and Ray Membami? Those are like the only new names we have. I'm not sure. Queen said, all I will say. Magpie says, you hold the button while you're turning the way you want to turn. Pretty sure. So you like hold it like the joystick into the turn all the way. For some reason, I thought you like turn it out. Think of it like leaning while you push the button to turn harder, only it actually does something. Queen said, I have no idea. This Lego Star Wars came out in 2007, so all the movies goes up to that year. I would think it's release order, and therefore the movie will be a big spoiler twist in the first one. Sure. See, I would check into that because if I had to guess, knowing how Lego goes, I bet they're going to do it chronologically. But I would say consult with someone else who's played the game. Sure says he had to be fast at something. Oh crap, Oga's posted a clip. Okay, for anyone who's lurking, or is new, or who does not know the deal, anytime someone posts a clip in either chats, we loaded up our clip viewer to watch together. Unfortunately, the YouTube side of the chat, I don't think allows you to post clips. This will tell me how far behind I am. 21 minutes! Not too shabby. So let's check out this. This clip is titled, I wonder what Logan was It was the full thing over in the, okay, wonder what Logan was probably gonna. Admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, Prosecutor Ouchie is so fast with his hands. Oh crap. If there's any job that needs doing with his hands, he will get that done quickly. He will give very quick hand. No! Thank you very much for the clip. We're just gonna pretend I never said any of that. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see. Shira says, "Don't sing Disney music. You get copyright strike from them. I bet." Well, okay. Does that happen if like you try and sing the Disney music, or is it just like they probably have auto detecting if you have an actual audio track from it? But I don't know. Maybe AI is getting even better than that. Tago says, "My wrist hurts." That's what you get for swallowing plastic. Derma says, Shiro, no disrespect. I don't think Logan's singing is good enough to trigger detection. It's not. My singing is not very good. Tago says, I'm gay and trans dang dong and rampa? What that went into an odd direction. My best friend's mom is a teacher and made Bob Ross Appreciation Club. Oh, we have a new one! Mr. Caw! Hello, this is my first time catching stream, but I've seen a few VODs and clips of your TGAA playthrough. I'm curious of your thoughts so far of the game. It's one of my favorites. Mr. Caw, are you still in the... I feel like you should get to know Magpie over on the Twitch side because you're both like birds. Mr. Caw, I hope you're still in the chat. I read every comment. I'm always behind. So I hope you stuck around long enough for me to be able to respond to this. But hi, welcome. Before I answer your question, let me give you the quick rundown of the channel, and also we'll copy and paste our link tree over there. I should do this periodically anyway. We're over a half hour in a stream. I probably should have done this already, but I am bad at streaming. It's a link tree that has all of our social media, Discord invite, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, everything. Check it out or ignore it. Entirely up to you. But our schedule, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, but not this Friday, not tomorrow. I have a work thing that's canceled, and we're right now alternating between this and Deltarune Chapter 5. But no, I'm enjoying it so far. The first game in the series, it felt a bit shorter and less like building to a crescendo than I was expecting. But Chad has emphasized that these two games are really supposed to go together as one. So that makes sense. I'm loving Herlock Sholmes. He is an absolute delight. I'm getting a little bit tired of trying to come up with different types of voices with British accents, though. But no, I'm liking it. This is a blind playthrough. We played all the other Ace Attorney games except for the Professor Layton crossover. So obviously no spoilers, but thank you for being here. Enderman says, I dislike crowds and cacophonous sound. Parades, protests, and the like are personal heck, sadly, even if I'd otherwise like them. And then Mr. Ka, welcome. Taco says, Dermo, I'm gay. Shira says, oh, hang on, it just scrolled without me. Shira says, don't mind me over here, sort of trading cards, while Logan slowly but surely gets to the cross-examination. Trading cards? You're not scalping the Pokemon cards, are you? Okay, let's play some actual game here.
That's what I call my mini memoism. Many memoism.
Oh, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yeah, right! That was me! Many Memo again! Hey!
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is... I did it! Hey!
On that line, he almost turned into, oh crap, what was his name? The confectioner guy from Investigations 2.
Because that English woman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? Ah, it's horse dung! Just be glad I said dung. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core.
Okay, he has a point. He also has another pencil behind his ear. Is he gonna keep breaking them and like more will pop out of the side of his head like a Pez dispenser?
The Supreme Court's ruling aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Humph. Well, anyway. Ha.
Oh yeah, look, a new one just replaced her on the ear. Where's he getting these from?
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my mini memo pad. You ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here it goes. Quote, I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. That's what she said, but very Britishly and very womanly. A serious criminal go to some junket? The people need to know about this. That's why, okay, another pencil. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I can hammer her in the press. And stab her. Maybe poison.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? Is this his testimony? Have we even gotten to the testimony yet? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph?
Ah, yes, I saw it with my very own journo eyes. Not as useful as Shinigami eyes. Well, they don't cut down my lifespan in half. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera! Ha ha!
Thank you, Mini Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the... Just say what you just said. Just again. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the event surrounding Miss Brett's death. Witness testimony! The camera never lies.
Okay, we made it to the testimony. Let's save before we go through this testimony. I have a feeling that this guy's testimonies are going to be a bit involved. So let me read a couple more comments in the chat. Shira says, I highly doubt we finish the case today. Prove me wrong. I dare. But what if I just want to enjoy the ride and take my time? Quiggity says, I'm trying to figure out how Lego Star Wars has their order, lol. I'm looking up Reddit to see if you can play the episodes in any order, or if you have to do it a certain way. Magpie says, Andro also means man, yes, android versus gynoid, but nobody uses gynoid because it sounds dirty. So, I mean, does it sound any less sexist than like fembot? Probably just because of something sexism we never think about, TBH. Quiggity says, you know what, Logan? Tell me which movie I should start with, and I'll see if I'm able to start with it, lol, because I don't know any of the movie names. That's how out of touch I am with Star Wars. Okay, so the release order was A New Hope, then Empire Strikes Back, then Return of the Jedi. So that's numbers 4, 5, and 6. And then they went with the prequels, starting with The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then Revenge of the Sith. If it was 2007, I think that would probably be before Disney bought Star Wars, right? When did the sequel trilogy come out? I'm guessing it's before that. And then Quiggity said, oh, never mind. Power of Wikipedia's. Okay, so the episode selection order is prequel movies, then the original movies. So my first one would be A New Hope. Yes, New Hope is the first released movie. Yes, absolutely. Shiro says, 'twas me. Quiggity says, for selecting one to start with. I mean, yes. Lord Shiro says, you can reuse voices. I don't think I can. Not in the same game. Come on, guys. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Let's see, Derma says, a taco cool. I will celebrate from the comforts and quiet of my home, though. Also, to answer your question in Discord, Logan, topaz is yellow 80% of the time. So the topaz aisle. Okay. So for those who missed it over in Discord, Dermot posted a picture about how that in Ireland, some of the grass looked decidedly dried out and yellow. And so I tried to make a joke where it's like, oh, it looks like the emerald aisle is now the blank aisle. But I couldn't think of a yellow gemstone. I was like, maybe amber? It's not really a gem, but it's like it's hardened. But so I tried Googling yellow gemstones. They're like yellow sapphire, yellow quartz, yellow pearls. It's like these are just yellow variations of typically non-yellow stones. So good to know. Topaz said, Oak, he's wearing a flat cap, not a Patty's cap. Also, everyone in news during this period wore them. How do you tell the difference? Because I have a cap that I had assumed was a Patty cap, but now I think might be a flat cap. Like, what is the distinction? I could probably go out and get it from the hallway if you really want me to. I think it's like hanging on the coat rack just outside this room. Possibly, maybe. I don't know. I don't usually wear hats. I have a giant noggin. Let's play a little more. Let's finally see dude's testimony. Okay?
The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot.
He's so proud of himself. I feel like if he wasn't a murderer, he'd be a pretty cool guy. The same could possibly be said of many murderers in this series.
Reed screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly enough in this great shot I snapped.
Yeah, I see all the little... Are they bamboo reeds around the edges? Like, what are they exactly?
The walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds.
Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat.
And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. Okay, this is his mistake. I know that he wants to try and pin the murder on somebody else by saying, I saw her get stabbed, but he is overcorrecting. I think he'd probably be much better off just saying, like, I looked in and I saw her there holding it, pulled it out, took a picture real quick and ran off. Because now we'll be able to, like, poke holes in his story, say, oh, you didn't actually see that. Whereas otherwise, it's like, yeah, I did that, then I ran. It makes him much less suspicious than discovering lies, you know?
And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shortly woven, hey! I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap! That's what I do, that's the mini memo way! Just thrust things through holes in the... Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime!
What? I don't remember what voice I'm doing.
But tenacity of purpose, that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's mini memoism in a nutshell.
At last! It took us 45 minutes, wow! It would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No. Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Good point. Yeah, and so how did Ouchie... No, Ouchie said he got the photograph because it was, like, dropped off to him. I'm guessing he didn't publish the story because he didn't want to, he wanted to kind of fly under the radar. He didn't want to draw too much attention to himself as the reporter breaking the story, because that would place him at the scene of the crime. But at the same time, he wanted to have her implicated, right? I'm gonna read a couple more comments in the chat. Let's see. Queen Gator said, today I learned that George Lucas is still alive. Man is 82. Did you think he died? I have that with celebrities sometimes. Did you see this thing? And this, I think, was everybody's reaction because I saw memes about it, where the other day Jared Leto was just accused of like inappropriate sexual crime stuff, and immediately was like seeing these memes where it's like, country shocked to learn that Jared Leto was not already accused of being a sex offender. And so yeah, it's like some people you're surprised when they're alive. Some people you're surprised have not been accused of sex crimes. Magpie says, as the owner of 2 Jason Todd shelves, I understand, Logan, sometimes you gotta organize. And then Eglin said, oh yeah, I gotta have Red Lobster tomorrow. Nice. Have you been there before? Queen says, hey, Logan got the pen thing. I noticed it on the armband and everything. Eglin says, early birthday meal. Okay, hang on, which day? Are we streaming on your birthday coming up? And Rukop said, Jason Todd, my second favorite Robin, my absolute favorite, Red Hood. Well, you like Jason Todd more than you like Joker as a Red Hood? Let me take a look over the YouTube chat now. Let's see, Shiro says, yeah, I think Bob Newhart passed away. I mean, it's sad, but he was old. He lived a long life. Also, I'm scrolling down. I don't see if Mr. Caw is still here. I feel so bad if people show up and they ask a question and I don't answer in time. And it's too bad also because I meant to ask what shorts or TikTok videos Mr. Caw saw that brought him or her or whatever here. Let's see. Shiro says, yeah, he died July 18th, 2024. Aw. Taco says, I've watched all these sitcoms. I think I've watched every sitcom to land on this earth. So what's your favorite then? I have a favorite classic sitcom. It'd probably be Cheers from the 1980s. That's the show that Frasier spun off out of, for those unfamiliar. Derma says, I think the actual word twist I frequently encountered is these 2 characters who have been dating or we've been shipping are actually related. Why have I suffered this multiple times? Okay, is that, I feel like you see a variation of that in anime a lot. Although in anime, the twist is these 2 siblings who want to do each other turn out they're not related by blood, so now they can do each other. Derba says, I'm not talking about stuff like Game of Thrones, which are explicitly about that. I mean stuff which pulls the rug well into the story, blindsiding ya. I'm trying to think of an example where, I can think of at least one, but I won't say what it is for spoilers, actually. So yeah, Tago says, what, Derma, what? Shiro says, quote, where is he getting that from? Lol, never question where AA characters spawn stuff from, especially Gregson and his endless fish and chips. His fish and chips are delightful, though. You guys got to admit. Back over on Twitch here, it says, yes, they did, and a bunch of emotes, and then I like Raitan's theme. I need to pay more attention to his music then. And says, when I played, and Raitan mentioned sensing a scoop, I thought he saw through Susato's disguise and was about to out her. I don't know, her disguise is so good. Honestly, though, she should have left her cloak on. You can tell that she has like a feminine figure in her uniform right now. She should be wearing like baggier outer clothing to disguise all that stuff. She's got to hide the fact that she is a Karua. Why then were they never published?
Oh, that's right. Look at his hands shaking. He can't hold that pose for very long.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
You know, Eugene, why are you not being the lawyer here? I mean, it obviously has nothing to do with having an actual license. Susato is not a lawyer. You should defend her.
More pathetic excuses.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest, unlike his suspenders he keeps pulling away from his chest.
was a nice visual parallel, like the suspenders hit in the chest, close to the chest, cross-examination, the camera never lies. Okay, you guys know the deal. We save, we press every statement, and then we figure out where we're gonna be presenting evidence. At least I am quite happy about the fact that he is the only one on the stand right now. So we don't have to worry about switching back and forth between characters, worrying about other characters chiming in and stuff like that. Wait, did I save? I think I did, yeah. Just doing it again to make sure. I wasn't sure if I hit yes or no on that. All right, so let's start pressing some statements.
The beach hut was made of shoddy old raid screen, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through.
Hold it!
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Because there were goyles in there. That's why, Susato.
Call it Jarno instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
Ah, she's calling him out on pervy stuff.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. I'm gay. Ha ha!
He's painting the Jarno as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Ha! Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry, boy. I mean, what do you mean?
To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. 2 scoops. 2 great C-cup scoops. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even a many-memoism, it's basic journalism.
If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate.
Right, so if that's all buttoned up, like her scoops were buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut?
A sight that vindicated my Jarno instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day.
Let's do another one of these, then I'll read some more right after that, okay?
The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Mimbami-san entering the hut?
Well, and she was raging like my Jarno spirit.
And the argument you mentioned was, what was that about exactly?
Quote, you stole it. Quote, I didn't steal it. That kind of thing.
Talking about the poison, I suppose.
The student girl walked right up to the English woman and really started laying into her. You know what'd be sad is if Ray Mimbami actually did intend to kill Jezeel Brett. Like, what if she was fully intending to poison her or something and was stopped because Many Memo murdered her first?
I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. And the eggs would have turned into babies. Because that's where babies come from, right? Eggs. Women lay eggs.
The man knows his stuff. That is where babies come from. The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism.
But a student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. Oh no, that simile was not very good. He really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest.
Ah! I was right! Thank you, Susato, for pointing out the weakness of similes.
Anyway, the point is that woman in the dock was mightily angry. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film.
Okay, well, I'll read some more in the chat. This is going to take some time to get through all these statements here. Let's see. Queen says in all caps, yes, I hate the Airhead ad for the inflating heads. Well, I mean, good news, you're not into inflation, so that's nice. Queen said, I hated it back in the day on TV, but why do they still bring it back? Oak says he has Irish vibes, though. Yes, that's exactly what I'm implying. This guy right here, well, we already had an Irish guy. And the last thing we want to do is give this game another Irish guy. This game slurs the Irish. Shiro says it's a fan theory that this guy is Lotta's ancestor. No, because I'm liking this guy. Don't do that. Don't make me dislike him. I don't like Lotta Hart. In that case, he'd have to have a southern accent, like Lada. Quickett said, good news. After doing much research without getting spoiled, I think I'm able to start wherever I want in the LEGO Star Wars story, so I'll plan on go with whichever is the first Star Wars movie. Okay, that's awesome! I'm so happy about that. Queen Katie said, bit by a mosquito. No, oh no! It's the RM thing. That's what I meant. Oh, so not just the button, but the RM. Yeah. I hope I'm gonna be better in this game than I was in the last one with noticing things. I'm gonna try real hard to pay attention and catch stuff. Magpie says, they called me the Drift King back in college line comes from RT Game. He says it a lot. Okay, so that's why I don't get the reference. I'm sorry. Magpie says, more burbs. Yes, unfortunately, I think the other bird over on YouTube may be lurking or have possibly left, but it was nice having Mr. Caw here. Quickett says, aw man, I'll have to find someone else to raid tomorrow then. I'm doing art stream, lol. I know, I have a work thing tomorrow. Shira says, how dare you call me a TCG scalper. They're kind of the worst. You got to keep your eyes open. Anyone could secretly be a scalper. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat now. Let's see. Taco says, what, Dermo, what? Shiro says, quote, where is he getting? Oh, no, I read that. Derma says, Taco, I once watched someone stream a dating sim where one of the routes ended with that twist. Also, an award-winning game with, like, famous actors that had that twist as well. It's awful. I mean, I guess that's like, okay, here's the question. In the dating sim, was it has that twist? They're like, guess we can't get together. Or it's like, guess this is just gonna be really scandalous. What we're gonna do, because we're doing it anyway. The player chose it. Very transgressive. That's the word I was looking for. Taco says, oh, why would you even write that? And the Derma says, sorry, I've got the terms wrong. A Patty's cap is a type of a flat cap, but they usually don't have bills. It looks more like a Coppola cap. Different kind of flat cap. Okay. I know that the one that I have does have a bill, but has like snaps on it, so you can snap the front of it onto the bill. It's like a short bill. And the Derma says, I always confuse Jared Leto with Russell Brand. That's probably why I thought he was already accused. Nah, I get Yank vibes from the reporter. You know what? I can see the Jared Leto Russell Brand confusion. I can see that. I do feel like both are kind of crazy. But I feel like Russell Brand is like a slightly more charming actor in his own way. But anyway, I'm caught up on YouTube. See, so I'm at least doing good over there. Let's play some more of the game, then I'll be back over to Twitch chat soon. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back.
Hold it!
Huh. Do you swear before the court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? I don't swear. You heard me earlier. I said dung. I said dung. Cow dung. I'm not gonna swear. The precise moment. Oh, I didn't just see that. I saw the whole heckish thing play. See, that is the proper use of the word. I know Logan won't say it. It's not actually swearing, though. I don't swear before the court. Play out from start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. New evidence. Okay, so that's what we get for pressing all the statements. Not a new statement, but we get important evidence. We'll probably end up having to use this on one of the statements he has as evidence to show that something was wrong. Or like later on to say like this person was located here and there and wherever. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. I think this will end up helping us to establish that as seen in this photograph, the stabbing slot is right behind this stool. Now hang on, is this also where he took the photograph from? So if she's at that angle, then if he was standing there, her body would be with the legs kind of moving down to his lower left. And so if we back out and look at this, no, that's a different angle. That is not the same angle as that other one. That angle would have to be somewhere over on this wall here, looking this direction. So, hope the game doesn't make a mistake about that. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are! It's all here in my memo pad! When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here. Okay, so if she was stabbed while sitting down, then you would think that there's a chance that there might have been some blood, like, possibly splattered onto the back wall. I wonder if we could send the police over there to check that. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. Quote, she just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Quiet you. Oh, why do I want to silence you like you're a woman when you're clearly a boy? Oh, he's sexist even when he thinks I'm a boy. Then the next moment as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. Oh, after a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And in a flash, plunged the knife in her adversary's back as the two passed each other.
What you describe is a grim crime indeed. Did the footprints that we saw in the sand line up with this? I should probably stop checking the photograph. I mean, I guess there's a bunch of them that could show some kind of argumentative scuffle.
Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what minimumism says.
The beach hut plan has been entered into the court record. A plan of the layout of the small beach hut where the victim was found.
By the way, Mini-Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film?
He's like the Watcher in Marvel. He just watches. He loves to watch.
Journals have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre.
I don't think that, like, absolves you from the guilt of not stopping a crime, though.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. Ha-ha.
An observer always remains on the outside looking in. I hope when he has his breakdown, it has something with his suspenders, like he pulls them completely out and, like, snaps back into him. Maybe slices through his flesh, chops him up into little pieces, and the chunks of journalist meat fall to the ground, and it's surprisingly graphic compared to what we're used to in the Ace Attorney series.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Yeah, because you're a good lawyer, Eugene, apparently.
Father, what are you? This is my job. Let me do it. Let me screw up. Let me get my friend executed.
I will grant the defense's request. Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement.
Well, nihilism is the foundation of minimumism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless.
What was that about nihilism? What was that reference mean? Okay, wait. Have we already pressed on everything? Pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through the perfect shot. Yeah, did we? Okay, so I guess we did. This must be what we had just pressed. So we got one more statement to press. Before we press that, let me read a couple more comments in the chat. Let's see, Eglin said that line for some reason reminded me of Keke Palmer? Who is that, if you don't mind me asking? And Queen Katie with the timestamp, 43 minutes even. So that means I am a bit behind, a little bit behind. Just a skosh, a smidge, 20 minutes behind-ish. Quita said, nope, still haven't started the first testimony. Shira said, Logan thinks he's at the testimony. Lol, not quite. Quita said, this is the yapping man. Now he started it. Shira says, 43 minutes in a stream. Quita said, thank you, Logan. I will remember a new hope to start with. Awesome. Astro Dude said, Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012, episode 7 released in 2015. Okay, so in that case, thank you, Astro Dude. That answers the question. So the Lego Star Wars collection that Queen Katie has does not involve, unless it was added later as a DLC or something like that, the sequel trilogy. So thank you, Astro Dude. How you doing? And Queen Katie said, that makes sense. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat, because I did catch up from there a bit ago. But Dermot says, I don't know, it literally ended with that twist line. Who knows? Quote, he's sexist even when he thinks I'm a boy. So just a jerk universally. I don't know if that's better or worse. Shira says, nihilism is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicate. Oh, no, I know what, yeah, but it's like, I don't know what that had to do with what like, nihilism is the basis of many memoism. Like, what? Where did that come from? Why were we saying that there? Durma says, Shiro, so, like the antithesis of journalism, which is conveying ideas. I need to have a sip of water. I just realized we're in over an hour into stream, and I have not had any water tonight. And so it makes sense that I'm thirsty, so hang on a second, guys. I think I'm doing pretty good. Staying caught up-ish with chat. I'm caught up on YouTube. I'm only 20 minutes behind on Twitch. Things could be so much worse at the moment. Okay. I never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with the English woman. I was there only as an observer. Oh, hang on. Let's take a look at this real quick. I think I figured it out. And if we look over at this one... Oh crap, we can't see their feet. It's like a Rob Liefeld drawing. I'm not that I would necessarily want to see feet, but I'm just saying, I'm assuming that if they were at the beach, they'd both be barefoot, right? Wait, can we see her feet here? Oh, darn it, she does have slippers on. I was gonna say that the footprints in the sand look like the soles of shoes. So I guess she has sandals on. Never mind, I thought it was gonna be easy. But we gotta press this statement then and see if we can get anything else. This will obviously be the area we'll be presenting evidence for. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the English woman. I was there only as an observer.
Hold it! Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared. You little coward. You little yellow-bellied chicken. Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes.
Why are we being so sassy to him? I mean, he's a murderer, but why?
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot.
You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera.
Many-memoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, many-memoism comes out on top. That's right, many-memo is a top. Oh. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on! Surely he's making all this up?
Oh, that's it? That's all? Ah.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating. But
it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
if that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen and done many times before in your role as a judicial assistant.
Did we miss one of the statements to press when we skipped to that one that got added to the court record? I'm gonna go back and check to see if we missed anything.
Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do.
Because it's obviously gonna have something to do with the new statement here, which is this: never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the English woman. I was there only as an observer. Let's quickly check our court record to see if there's anything obviously contradictory of that. If not, let's go back and check to see if there's any statements that we missed pressing on. Post-mortem report, time of death just after 2 p.m. Death believed to be trauma to the victim's lung from a knife blade. Only a single wound was identified. Time of death around 2 p.m. ascertained by examination and witness statements. Single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung resulting in fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. Crime scene photograph. Photographic print of the scene taken by the police just after the incident. The stab wound in the victim's back is clearly visible. So this is not his photograph. This is the police's photograph. We once again do not see a hole in the hut over on this side. It seems like there's a hole here. Now that might suggest that when she was seated, he would have been blocked from seeing Ray Membami enter the hut. But I mean, if they turned around and scuffled, in theory, he'd be able to say like, oh, well, I saw a moment later who it was. I do still think that's where he stabbed her from, but okay. Soseki Natsume article, a newspaper containing an article about the discussion between my father and Soseki-san. The debate became quite spirited. The main thing from that was just finding the crack in the thing. Fountain pen bearing the initials RM and an emblem of some description. There's a very small amount of liquid still inside the ink reservoir. So this is his pen, so he stole the poison. And that should show that he had spoken with her because she had his pen. Are we already gonna bust this out and say, hey, look at this pen? The insignia on it is the same as on your armband, and the initials are your initials? We might be doing, maybe we're skipping straight ahead to that. Maybe the game's going, you know, I'm just gonna reward you for knowing stuff. I doubt it though. Knowing this game is gonna drag things out. Poison article, an article about the poison was stolen from the laboratory at Yume University. Even my father, who was responsible for the lab, knew nothing of the incident. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki, 11th August, came alive, very disturbing incident. Deadly poison being secretly developed by the university's forensic laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade. Is it a clue how he's been tapping his pencil with his tongue? That maybe he gave her the pen and she had to write something down? Because I never do that because I think it's gross, but have you seen people, especially with like ballpoint pens, you need to get the ink going, because you don't usually do it with a pencil. I don't know why he's doing it with a pencil. I think it's just like a habit. Maybe that's a clue. And does that, and then it gets in her mouth. So he gives her the pen with the poison in it, and the poison is there in place of the ink. So if she tries to write, no ink is gonna come out, and she's gonna tap it on her tongue to try and get the ink flowing! Hey! That's what happened. That's how she got the poison in her, from doing that. Okay, all right. We got this. I think we're ahead of the actual game, in the game. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptoms occurred within minutes, starting with the impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids, rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Okay, we still need to figure out what we present here. It might be the pen, but let's keep going. Incriminating photograph. Photographic print taken at the moment the victim was attacked. My friend Ray can be seen kneeling over Miss Brett. This does not seem to suggest that he set foot in there or talked with her. Again, the pen, I think, is the main thing, but I don't know if we present that now or not. Chemical reagent, special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory. The murder weapon, a small knife from the scene of the crime that was found on the victim's back. No trace of poison was found on the blade. We have this. Maybe we aren't using this yet, but a plan of the layout with a small beach hut where the victim was found. Oh no, yeah, I don't need to magnify anything. Wait, let's take another look, though. It doesn't show where the pen was or anything. Do we see anything on the very first photograph that would suggest where she would have tried to write something down? I mean, she's clutching the pen. What we should do is say, hey, Your Honor, there's a little bit of liquid in this pen. Can we use the chemical reagent to see if this is the poison in the pen? And then test that we establish, okay, she had the pen with the poison. Say, like, if there's no ink, and then yes, okay. And honestly, we don't need any more testimony. We have enough evidence to get this guy right now. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save before we present anything. I usually will say I'll save in case I'm dumb. I'm not dumb. I did a smart, I am ahead. I know what is what. It's just the game is gonna think I'm smart. So, never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the English woman. I was there only as an observer. Now, it is possible that he didn't give the pen to her physically. He might have left it for her, but he'd have to go into the hut to leave it for her. So he either went in and planted the pen, or spoke to her and gave her the pen. So yeah, let's try that. We ought to be able to use the pen. We're probably like too far ahead of ourselves. I hope the game doesn't punish us for presenting the pen. I hope the game will go like, oh no, you know what you're doing. Just slow down. Chill your horses there, buddy. Let's try this. Present!
Objection!
Oh, we got it!
Hey! Many memos on. Until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
I get spot on there! The press don't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of Show You News on my arm. I hope that this will not come back to bite me by being on a pen filled with poison. In a way, that's more many-memoism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel? Many memos on. Do you recognize this fountain pen? No. This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
So it sounds like all we're gonna look at now is the emblem, and we're not putting 2 and 2 together with the poison yet.
What are you? If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there.
Oh, and the initials. Okay.
R.M.
He's gonna say, yeah, remember me.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, counsel. The initials of the accused, remember me,
It's gonna cut over since I was gonna go.
No, it's Ray 10 many memo on point, and it'll be all dramatic, right? Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also R.M. What?
Okay, so, first cross-examination went well. I'm gonna read some more in the chat. I hope y'all are proud of me. Let's see. Queen Katie says, I remember sometime after 2012, I would watch a Star Wars 3D cartoon casually on Disney Channel on Disney XD. I don't remember a thing though. That probably would have been like the Clone Wars cartoon. I've only seen a couple of episodes of it, but I hear it's good. That one technically takes place in between episodes 2 and 3. Queen said, okay, Logan has officially seen all the animations for that one meme video I've been waiting to show, lol. It's a parody video based off Rhythm Heaven called Ringside, but the reporter never shuts up. But in this parody, it's all the reporters and Ace Attorney so far, including many memos. So did have to wait for the animation of him like crushing the pencil or something? Can you post it in the Discord? Queen says, I'll post it in Ace Attorney channel, thank you! And I do mean every reporter in Ace Attorney. It even includes a lot of Heart and her assistant, and even Brushel from Apollo Justice. Quickita says, I also assumed Leto had already been accused of stuff TBH. Well, the thing is, Jared Leto has an island. I was gonna say sex cult. Maybe it's just a regular cult, but I'm pretty sure it's a sex cult. So that usually goes along with like sexual crimes. Eglin said, we are not streaming on my birthday this year, Broken Heart. It's Wednesday. Aww. But do make sure that we remember to sing happy birthday to you. Then Eglin says, oh, my friend has like a whole 150 question Kahoot of anime siblings or dating. Wait, so is it like you show the anime characters and it's like, are they siblings or are they dating? Let me guess, it's lots of ones where it looks like they're gonna like smooch and they're like uncomfortably close. And it's like, those are always the sibling ones. And then the ones where they're like beating the crap out of each other, it's like those are the ones where they're dating. Eglin said, we only play it once a year because everyone absolutely hates playing it and then forgets how much we hated playing it by the next year. We only hate playing because sometimes the answer is both and it hurts our souls. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. I gotta scroll up a little bit. Shiro says, we can make you fall behind in YouTube chat too if you'd like. I dare you to try, Shiro. Says Logan is in defeat. No! Find feet gross. Okay, the one thing that I find a little bit more disgusting than feet, to be honest, because feet are already gross. I saw a couple of things online where people were talking about like being into armpits and posting like pictures of anime girls with their armpits up, but then the armpits are drawn like very detailed and they're drawn not like they don't look like armpits. They look like other body parts. And it's like, why? Why do you want that in that? And then like, that's your thing? I shouldn't judge, but I'm judging. Durba says, quick, type out the full decimal expansion of pi. 1 message per number. Go for it. Shiro just says, lol, don't tempt me with a good time. Check and find out. Durba says, so basically, many memoism is not giving an F about anyone or anything else. Based/J, Shiro says, yup. He will do whatever he wants if the journo spirit wants to. Durba says, about the Susato, during this era, it was more often called propaganda the news. The 2 words were synonymous until recently. Oh yeah, I mean, and that, well yeah, because it was probably like all the media had to be run through the state, I bet. And then Shiro says, he dared us, chat. We must make him fall behind. What should we discuss? And Durba says, what concerning is in anime is both is possibly an answer. And Shiro said, true dat, anime can get weird sometimes. Well, it's like, what was that one game that I even suggested maybe we should play on stream sometime? And then, so I think it was Queen Katie objected to it. It was the coffin of someone and Lele. Is it Andy and Lele? It's the one where it's like, they're obviously siblings, but she like wants him, and it's I think they maybe murder and possibly eat people. I don't know what it's about. It looks weird. I've heard it's very unhinged. But let's play a bit more of this game, which hopefully does not have incest nor as much cannibalism. Okay?
That your initials are also RM. No! Writing mini memo RM.
I'm curious if in the Japanese version, did it have the Roman letters RM on the pen, or did it have like Japanese characters on there that also would correspond to the two of them?
That's horse dung. Oh, I'm still saying dung, but expanding the animals and their various types of poopage. Can't you see one of the central tenets of minimemoism is being a pencil user? No, then why are you tapping it on your tongue, bro? That is a thing you do with pens. And why is there ink on your hand, bro? Ink is in pens! I'm not threatening to punch you. I'm showing you where the ink is. On your hand. I mean, are we gonna have to like click his hand or something? And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see.
Ah, okay, the game just gets it. Thank you, game. Ah, that makes it so much easier on me.
The court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain.
Ah, I noticed that early on. It is now a clue.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey horse dung. That's still a horse that's doing the dung, but it's a special kind of horse. Oh, so much dung.
Okay, do we need a dung counter for this guy? 3 dungs already.
Mini Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut?
Well, he might have just left the pen in there and she like picked it up because she needed to write something. The question is though, even if he gave it to her, she won't get the poison into her body until she has a reason to write something. It has to be pretty soon after that, because otherwise she might go home and then like, oh, this one isn't writing. Okay, I'll just grab a different pen rather than try to dab it on her tongue. Yeah?
Objection! Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse. Exactly. So your nose will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything.
I do like the name Show You News, because like showing you the news.
There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky.
Well, I see that there's my friend Reginald Montgomery. There's my friend, it's not my friend, but there's the actor Roger Moore. That's a real one. Reginald Montgomery is not a real person, but Roger Moore is, I assume he's dead. He was a James Bond, I think.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Huh? Chad, how many stars do you think there's in the sky? Go ahead, take a wild guess. Take a wild guess.
Huh?
Oh, look at her! Look at her! Being all cocky.
And there's no need.
So this is probably similar to Ryunosuke's pose when he puts his hand on the blade of the sword, but she doesn't have a blade of a sword. Because she's a girl. Girls don't have a blade of a sword.
And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We don't even need to save. We know this.
The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is...
No, I didn't mean to click that button. I want to present it. I don't want to investigate it. I want to present. I just hammered the space bar mindlessly. I've already seen this dialogue. The game's gonna think I just barely saw it for the first time. Present.
Oh. As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize. Mini Memo-san.
Goodness me! It's the emblem of the show you do. Oh, hang on. We gotta zoom in on this gun show here. This is a man who does some preacher curls.
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM.
I gotta read some more in the chat. I feel really good about the direction things are going. Honestly, this should be enough right here. Do that, test for the poison in the pen, explain there's no ink, she dabber time. Like, we've got him. We honestly don't need any other evidence. We should have this. Obviously, it won't be that simple. We'll have to do 2 more credits examinations. We've got this figured out. Let's see. Shiro says, is stream lagging for anyone else or just me? That's a good question. Is it? I don't appear to be dropping any frames on my side. So, I mean, I hope it's just for, I mean, I don't wish that upon you, but I hope it's like limited in scope as possible. Magpie says, I think in Japanese, Lada had an Osaka accent, so many Memo-san might have that too. Well, yeah, because don't they always do either like a southern accent or similar type things to represent Osaka accents in dubs? Shiro pointing up that. Queen said, actually, Logan, there is usually only blood splatter if you take the knife out. You would only stab the knife in, no blood whatsoever. I would imagine it probably depends. It depends on like how cleanly, like straightforward in it is. If it's more of like a slashing in like that. And if you hit like a major artery, like if you like gash an artery, it'll probably have like going off. That's why, yeah, I think it probably depends. It probably depends. So there it could be, but not necessarily. So that is fair. So thank you, Queen Katie. Atlantic says, hello, yellow. How you doing, Atlantic? Good to see you here. How's your week going? Queen Katie said, I have a feeling you might need a potato soon. Did I? Did I, Queen Katie, or did I figure it out? Shiro says, I love how he questions it, but if chat were to answer, he wouldn't see it for like 20 minutes. Queen says, oh my gosh. Shiro says, lol, that's a clip for sure. What was the clip? What was the clip? Did I do something funny or did I say something wrong? Queen says, ... Shiro says, okay then, I'm slowly becoming fascinated by how this man's brain works. Queen says, I know, right? You should have seen in Persona 3, the man was wild. Am I being smart? Am I back to being smart after the first game? Sucking so bad? I need to read some comments over on YouTube chat as well. Let's see. Shira saying, true that, anime can get weird sometimes. Derba says, Frulzy, where is Frulzy tonight? I miss Frulzy. Will hate me for this. For some reason, so much Toho art is armpit stuff. I don't know why. Shira says, yikes. Says, Rei in Japanese was Haori Murasame, and Raiden was Heita Mamemoni. So it was HM in the original. Okay, so they did change it, but just from HM to RM. Okay. It's like, yeah. Okay, thank you for the info. Derba says, the coffin of Andy and Lele, very valid objection. The trigger warning list is very long with that game. The sibling thing is just the tip of the iceberg. See, sometimes I want to play a really unhinged game though, but I don't want to get too disturbing or uncomfy for chat, you know? And Shiro says, there are 3.14159, and then just the rest of pi, million stars. That's not very many million stars. That's not very many stars, is what I'm saying. Like, that is not a lot of stars at all. That like 3 million? There are more stars than that in our galaxy. Now, but the question is what you want to count as in the sky. Because in our sky, we can only see individual stars within our portion of the Milky Way. We're located in what's called the Orion Spur, which is branching off from one of the 2 major spiral arms. Because like if you go farther enough away, like to the next spiral arm over, that's what you see with the Milky Way streaking across the sky, big gray cloudy streak. You can't make out individual stars. So the stars you can see in the sky would just be the ones in our neighborhood, in the Orion Spur. And maybe that would be just a few million or something like that. I don't know exactly. But no, our galaxy has hundreds of billions of stars. And there are almost countless numbers of galaxies out there. Like mind-boggling number of galaxies, and each one probably has hundreds of billions, if not trillions of stars. I've heard it said this way. There was an old-timey saying that there are more stars in the heavens than there are grains of sand on the planet Earth. A more accurate way to look at it is if you took the entire planet Earth, ground the entire thing up into grains of sand, there would still be like far more stars in the universe. So hopefully that'll put things into perspective. There's your lesson. I gotta read 1 or 2 more quick comments and we'll get back to the game. Sure said, smile guys, Logan hopes I lag out of existence. Rip me. Guess I should exit stage left even. Don't worry about what we said to clip. You'll find out eventually, I'm sure. It depends on how you look at it. So maybe it was a spoiler clip then. Okay, let's keep going here.
Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they?
I just told you that there are a ton. Ryutaro, wink, wink.
Huh. Well, Mini Memo-san, how do you respond? No!
Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub. Is he just posing like that? It's weird. He would fall over. Also, I still can't tell if she's a boy or a girl. She's a boy. She's a boy? Order, order! Explain yourself, witness! So he's gonna have another cross-examination where he's gonna say like, oh, I forgot,
I gave her that pen earlier when we were doing the interview thing, yeah. Ha! 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 Hey, this is funny. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. All right then, fine. I had to move my hat like that. I can't let you see the top of my head. It's not rendered. I won't try to hide it anymore. I was banging Giselle Brett. I always bring a pen when I'm banging. I have an extensive banging ledger. Must have forgotten my pen. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I show you news reporter on behalf of the public. Conducted an interview with the English woman. An interview?
You never mentioned this before, but again, this doesn't matter. Let's test the chemical in the pen with the reagent.
Oh, when exactly was this?
I hope Mini Memo doesn't, like, die on the stand. Like, you give him the pen, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna write some down. Oh, hang on. Oh, I forgot. Pupils constricting. We've already had someone die on the stand in one of these games. They'll go dark like that sometimes.
As I said, it was before that evil student girl showed her face in the hut. I couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. That's all the stamina I got. You know, we're talking before about people being really quick with their hands. I'm also really quick with every part of my body. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing. And as we many members say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news.
However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook this meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired.
Got it, yes, all right, but on one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this.
Huh? But you can't have Giselle Brett with you. She's dead. Is he gonna ask that Ray Membami take the stand with him?
You need to call back the earlier witnesses, Soseki Natsume-san.
I hope we see him like taking lots of pictures of Soseki. Why does Natsume have to be on the stand? Speaking of Natsume, of Soseki being Vero's ribbon herald. I miss Vero, y'all.
So Soseki-san. Oh, yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourselves, because it's not a harmless one. It's big.
I know that the estate of Soseki Natsume apparently let this game do whatever they want with him. They're not gonna like have it turn out that his books were like plagiarized or something, right?
What? What?
Hubbub. Look, can we just start talking about whether that's a boy or a girl?
Minimalism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well. I will grant the witness's request in this instance. So the Soseki Natsume secret's probably just going to be to drag this out, to pad out the case. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san, hiding something?
All right, a little over halfway through the stream. Are we getting to a second cross-examination? Or test witness testimony. The witness's secrets. Yeah, this feels very largely irrelevant. Let's save. I'll read some more of the chat, and then we'll see where this is taking us, I suppose. Shira says, I'm not a fan of Persona, TBH. Oh crap, hey, no, go back. Go back, I just moused past you. I didn't click it. I missed what you said there, buddy boy. Now I gotta load that back up. But that's okay. Like, you don't have to be into Persona. I've enjoyed the Persona games that we played, but not everybody needs to be in everything. Magpie says, the pellet with the poisons, hang on. The pellet with the poisons in the vessel with the pestle. The flagon with the dragon holds a brew, that is true. Bad news, they broke the vessel with the pestle. Now the pellet with the poisons in the flagon with the dragon, the chalice from the palace holds a brew, that is true. Logan, if you don't get this, you need to watch The Court Jester. I think you'll love it. I don't even know what that is. Is that a movie or a show or an anime? I don't know what that is. Does it always have tongue twisters? Shira says, I played P4G, but it felt dragged and didn't enjoy the combat system. The combat in that one wasn't the best. I just like the characters in it. If you want better, the Persona 5 had better game mechanics, I feel. But a lot of them will drag. Persona 3, for example, had great emotional beats, but its story definitely dragged. And I think a lot of that's because of the way it's designed to give you all of the, like, basically you have like a month to do the dungeon, and then you just do lots of like hangouts with friends and things like that. So by its nature, it is kind of dragged out. And so if you're not into that, that's fine. But yeah, we had a grand old time playing those games. Queen said fair law, but he made an insane guess on one twist in the game and then goofed off the rest. Eglin says, my personal rule for anime siblings or dating is if they look like siblings, they're dating. And if they look nothing alike, they're 100% related. It is almost always foolproof. The one exception is when the characters are both male with big hands. Yaoi art style, bet on dating. Queen Gata said, I honestly don't remember what game you're talking about. It was HM, Logan. It's a Western pen. So yeah, so we got that. So thank you to both you and was it Shiro over on YouTube? Yes. Eglin said the quiz also has video games, a few Western cartoons, and occasionally Marvel/DC comics. Marvel Comics had some incest when they did their Ultimate Comics line. I'm pretty sure they established in the Ultimate Comics that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were getting it on. And then Captain America was grossed out and Wasp was like, oh, you just don't get their love, which kind of made Wasp look nasty. Over on YouTube, let's see, Shiro says, you'll find it eventually, I'm sure. Depends on how you look at it. Exactly if we, oh crap, it just scrolled without me, I hate when to, exactly, what if we can only see a few million, but there's actually far more? We just do not know, and never will become supernovas and black holes. Raiten was doing what? Derma says, oh, if you're looking for Unhinged, that certainly hits the ticket, but I'd consider myself very hardened media-wise. It's the only time I felt physically ill from a scene. I highly discourage it. See, that makes me torn, because on one hand, it's like, well, I don't want to experience that. But the other hand, it's like, now I'm like very morbidly curious to know what that was. Derma says, Shiro, he was just using his fountain pen, so to speak. Shiro says, using how though? It's very concerning. And Derma says, it's an empty pen though. I'll let you interpret what that means. And then Shiro said, depends on the context. You want to go with Dermo, but it's still very concerning. Back over on Twitch, Quinkity said, wait, why is the ink on both sides of his hand? Wouldn't the smudge only be on the one side? It's like, based on which hand you used to write with. Wait, it's on both? I've only seen on like the butt of the hand, which would be if you're right-handed. It doesn't make as much sense being on the left hand. But in Japan, though, you write like downward from right to left, and so it makes more sense that it would be on that hand, right? We need to watch also when he's writing, how he's writing, if he's which direction his hand is moving. Astro Dude said, in Japanese, the common initials are HM for Haori Murasame and Heita Manemomi. So thank you, Astro Dude, as well. So 3 of you chimed in to help me out with that info. I appreciate that. Okay, but I think I'm caught up on YouTube again. So let's get back into the game. And let's continue. I think we can get through at least 2 of these cross-examinations tonight based on how this is going. I doubt we'll finish the case tonight, but we're definitely finishing this case on Sunday, right?
I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from the outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witness come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help.
Wait, what? She wasn't dead yet? Did we know this before?
That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. He said, do you like me? Yes, no. But he didn't say nothing about it in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now.
Okay, well, what did he ask? What did he ask?
Why did you do? It was like a teaser for a testimony. You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness.
Okay, we need to take a look at our court record because the post-mortem report, what did it say? Pierce Lung, death would have occurred within minutes. And then do we have further corroboration with that with a poison article? Deadly poison secretly developed. Even the smallest amount via the mouth would prove fatal in minutes. I mean, I guess within minutes she could. Minutes is like vague. Minutes could be anywhere between 1 and 59 minutes. Then it becomes hours.
The victim regained consciousness.
Although I feel like, in my opinion, if you're going to say within minutes, I feel like it implies less than 10, 20 at the most.
And when she did, you decided to ask her a question.
That's, I figure if she's dying, maybe she'd be honest if she likes me. True, yes.
He did, and that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused.
Wait, what's this deck? I got distracted by something.
This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you local hack?
It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose a withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious, even. So, but Many Memo said she gave a definite answer. So did she attempt to write the answer with the pen? Huh. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth. I could ask what the question was in the follow-up, but I'm just tired. I checked out of this hours ago.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut?
Okay. 1 hour and 47 minutes. We made it to the second cross-examination. The witness's secrets. As before, you guys know the deal. We're going to save, press every statement, and then figure out where we're going to be presenting evidence. Now, I don't think that they would have brought both of them here unless we were going to have one of those things where one of them will chime in, and we got to see what it is. So we'll probably have to deal with a lot of that stuff. But let me read some more comments in the chat before we do this. We were making a lot of progress tonight, despite the fact that I'm enjoying spending so much time chatting with the chat. We're moving the story forward, yo! Queen Katie said, dang, I just checked the original Japanese 3DS version. This reporter was so tan on the screen? Wait, they lightened him up? Said, what kind of filter did they have on the 3DS version? Like, the lighting is much different in the game compared to the collection version. Huh. Astro Dude says, maybe sepia. Oh, I wonder, maybe because it's in the past? They put like a sepia tone filter over everything? Quita said, meanwhile, Ray is so pale. Keyboard Slam. Magpie says, preacher curls. Is that when you, what was that? Do you guys see that? Was there a shout out happening? Oh, Crystal is here! Was that me? Was that a blank clip of me? Crystal! How are you doing? We have a mod! Yo, we're no longer the Purge! But thank you, Crystal, for the shout out. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, let's see. Magpie was saying, preacher curls, is that when you carry heavy books a bunch? It should be. That should be was. Okay, like if you want to know what a preacher curl is, if you ever see it at the gym, it's like a curl where you have like kind of a downward slanting cushion and you put your arm on it and then you have like a thing to grab and you curl at like an angle. Wait, what is going on with our shout out? Is it broken? I am going to assume that our shout out thing is currently broken. Maybe I need to like update the script for it. That's not great. Have we tried other people? Was that one also me? Let's try to shout out someone else and see what happens. Okay, let's watch and go. Shout out. Yeah. Okay. Shout out is broken. Shout out do be broken. I mean, I guess better to be broken this way rather than broken when it just like goes in an endless repeat of them. I'm going to assume that either the server is down for it or that I need to update the scripting for it. So thank you very much for drawing that to our attention. Let's see. Quigita says, the wiki doesn't give too much trivia on this, but apparently in the original Japanese, Shoyu news was actually Taikoku news. I wonder what Taikoku means, because Shoyu just sounds like, yeah, I will show you the news. Also, isn't that a type of ramen? I seem to recall that from Danganronpa 1, that Aoyase Hina likes shoyu ramen. Eglin says, you got the planetarium guy talking about space. Good job, chat. Teasing. Share with some emotes. And Queen says, oh yeah, Logan, you're the space guy. I got a lore question for one of my OCs. Oh, does this have to be real space or can we make up space lore? So, say someone's soul is attached to the sun, that person dies, the important people instantly puts that soul into someone else, but everyone is dumb and yeet him off to not know any of this and be a normal human. I want to say that at some point in the game, a smart guy is ranting to the people about how if this man dies, so does the sun, and I feel like he should imply the sun exploding. Would that be the best threat? Well, you can do whatever you want in fiction, but here's the thing. In real life, our sun will not supernova. It will not explode, okay? Our sun is not massive enough to explode. Instead, what it's going to do is when it finally kind of goes out of balance with its internal fusion that's going on, it'll start slowly kind of shuffling off layers of gas, just out like that. And it'll basically fizzle out and turn into a type of a nebula, which is just a way of saying like a cloud in space. Because there's two types of nebulas. One are stellar nurseries where stars are born, and one are stellar graveyards where stars die. This would be like the latter. It'll turn into, they're generally referred to as a planetary nebula. But here's the thing, when stars die, they don't lose any of their mass. Like even when a massive, supermassive star goes supernova, turns into a black hole, whatever, a black hole will still have the same mass as a star, but it's just condensed into a singularity. So even though our star is too small to become a black hole, even if it magically turned into a black hole with that mass, the orbit of our planets would not change because the thing at the center still has the same amount of mass. It's just super condensed. It's the density that makes something into a black hole. And so similarly, shuffling off the layers of gas, the stuff would still be there. So a lot of life would go on, but what would kill us is that we would all freeze to death because we would no longer have that source of energy coming from the sun. And so it would be like a slow, gradual thing, like I said, with it shuffling off like that. This will happen in approximately 5 billion years. So I don't think we need to worry about planning ahead for that. Plus, at around 5 billion years from now, also our galaxy is going to crash into the Andromeda galaxy. But another interesting thing is there's so much space between all the stuff that when they collide, very few things will actually touch. They'll just kind of pass by each other. What you really got to worry about is that the objects passing each other will kind of mess up it's like that they have gravitational pulls and everything, and it'll fling things around and everything will get put into different parts of the galaxy. We're at a really good place in our galaxy because we're not too close to the center where they have like really, really intense cosmic radiation from the massive ancient stars in the middle of the galaxy. And so if we got like flung toward the center of the galaxy, we could all get killed by the massive radiation there. That was a long explanation. Did that help you, Queen Katie? Our sun would not explode, it would fizzle out because of its mass, and we'd still all die, just freezing rather than exploding. Yeah. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. Derma says it's an empty pen. Oh, I'm caught up. Oh, and Queen Katie with a pin message saying yes. See, now it's Crystal is here. We can have pinned messages. Let me read one or two more comments because that was like a long answer to one comment there. Shira with some emotes. Queen says, so like if the sun explodes, so does everything else. The smart guy is trying to put common sense into these people and being like, hey, stop pretending things will be okay. You're depending on the common Joe for your literal sun survival. Why? The man is immortal anyway, but they don't know that, which could technically stab him and then boom, which is the point. So I want to know if that's possible. Plot point, Logan, lol. And a timestamp 1 hour 39 minutes. Oh, that's not bad. I'm like 15 behind is all. Vero said, good morning, friends. Vero, welcome. I was just saying earlier, we missed you. What was it that reminded me of Vero that I said, why isn't Vero here? What was it? Oh, because Natsume. We're talking about Ribbon Herald. Natsume. Welcome, Vero. And Quick says, Vero. And then Vero says, it's getting harder to wake up from my alarms. I mean, that's understandable. It's like 4:30 in the morning. But Vero, it is so good to see you here. All right, let's play some actual game. Now, I need a sip of water first. We're almost 2 hours in the stream, and I've only drunk like that much water, is all. And again, I should give periodic reminders, no stream tomorrow. It's canceled because of a work thing. All right, let's play some game. I asked the English woman for the interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Oh, I clicked out of the game. Hang on, that's why. There we go.
Hold it! You asked her for an interview, you say? Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year. About the case in which John H. Wilson lost his life. That's not the way I phrased it. Many memoism calls for straight talking. Quote, why did you murder Dr. Wilson is how I put it to her. Okay, this would be nice. I mentioned before, I was really irked that we never got her motive in the last game. I am suspecting that she was hired to kill him on behalf of someone else.
Oh yes, that's sort of talking it as straight as a ruler.
Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu at a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran of the paper taught me that.
And how did Miss Brett answer?
Did she dodge it, or do we get an actual answer?
With one simple phrase. Okay.
Finally get to find out.
Mystery is a woman's charm.
Chat, mysteries are charming because you eventually find out the answer. Just putting that out there.
Phew, that told me! Ha-ha! So I waltzed right out of there.
Really? Something about that doesn't seem quite to fit together.
Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say. It's the best way. Make sure to step in 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A veteran of the paper taught me that. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witness came a-running. Hold it!
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away.
Persistence wins the prize! Nappa! Any I can't talk! Any memo-memoist will tell you that. Let them think you left, then just when they lower their guard, that's when you're swooping for the scooping!
And the fruits of your labor are all too apparent in this telling photograph. Though I'm sure the young Yoko student would rather not be reminded of this darning evidence. Actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness.
And now that you found me, I tell you whatever you want to know! I got nothing to hide!
I'm sure. Please do go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say.
Try to stop me! There's a story to tell here, and I'm gonna tell it!
Okay, let's do one more. So Seki's got to chime in pretty soon, right?
The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. Hold it!
And Soseki-san remained behind in the hut?
That's right! Yup! Our author friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes, mustache twitching, eyes bulging. Oh, so just normal. Normal Soseki Natsume. That is not noteworthy. What do you expect? You don't know the terrifying troubles that haunted me whilst traveling abroad. Back behind baleful bars, they're coming for me, surely. That's all I could think. I felt as though I were grasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat.
Poor Soseki-san. His experiences in London have scarred him deeply.
Which is actually nice to see. It's a bit unnerving that in the regular Ace Attorney games, nobody else seems to be that traumatized by being falsely accused, especially like Maya, who had it happen like 5 times to her. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited the prayer to Amida Buddha. I hope someday when I die, I get to meet the Buddha. It would be so sad if I don't get to meet Buddha. Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness, empty eternity! The end is coming for me, surely. No sutras are to resound in my courtroom, please. Separation of church and state.
And now we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened.
So he's probably going to chime in when he starts talking about him asking and answering and getting an answer to a question. Yeah, let me read a couple more comments to Chad. We're halfway through all the pressing stuff here. Queen Gator said, ignore my massive list of messages in chat, lol. I was yapping a long question for future Logan? Oh, in the chat here, for some reason I was thinking over in Discord. I don't know why. Vera said, lol, I got many pings on Discord to answer after stream. I'm once again behind the Transformers channel. Vera, when are you gonna start reading the comics again? Because I got more things I need to say, like around the time you get back into those. Magpie said, The Court Jester is an old movie featuring Danny Kaye, who I think would have been an excellent Riddler, but alas, he's been dead for a long time. It's really good, very old comedy movie. You mentioned Danny Kaye before. I've also said who I think would be a good, I said who I think would be a good Joker. That's a different thing. I love some good Riddler though. I might have to check that out. Castelli, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. I'm still a little bit behind, so I hope you're still here. Welcome. Said, I checked the wiki. Apparently, both Many Memo and Ray's name in Japanese are written completely different, so their initials are in Roman alphabets. Okay, so thank you all for answering that question. Everybody was so good about getting back to me on that info. Thank you, Castelli. And a pin message written by Queen Gated Pin by Vera said, oh, Logan. Oh, hang on, I gotta, said Logan, Toby Fox just made a patch on Steam for Deltarune, so I guess it's a good thing you're not playing tomorrow, lol. Gotta update that. He did a patch also recently before playing. So I'll have to check the patch notes on that. Which reminds me, side note, I had a Deltarune sort of themed dream last night. It was very unusual. I dreamed that they were making a Deltarune animated series or movie or something like that, and that I somehow got lucky enough to be called in to audition for Birdly in it. And the dream was very stressful because it was like it was an in-person audition, which was nice. I was very excited about that in the dream. But then I got there and they handed me like this massive script, and then they just said, just read from the part where blah, blah, blah happens, and didn't tell me what page it was. And they're like, all right, we gotta keep this going, so be ready to record in 3, 2, 1, go, and hit it. And I'm like fumbling through and can't find the right page. And so I just start like making up Birdly dialogue and, doing the Birdly voice. And it's like, and I was in the zone and I thought I was really channeling Birdly. But then I got done, and whoever the casting associate was not impressed in my dream. So that was what happened in my dream. But I would freaking love to play Birdly. Actually, the character I think I want to play the most is Noelle. But I would love to play Birdly in a Deltarune animated thing. Let's see. So thank you for the pin message. And Quikita said, oh, that certainly explains the long time it took for them to point it out then. Catheli says, Haori Murasame and Ray Heita Mamemomi as Merimoto. Yeah, so those would be different. I assume most names are written with katakana, but occasionally you see them with hiragana. So yeah, those would be a bit different. So yes, so thank you. And Queen said, never mind, cameras are confusing. It's the correct hand side. This is why I need to learn how to draw hands better. I thought it was on both sides of the hand, but no, it's just on the one side. Over on YouTube chat, Dermot says, if Many Memo waltzes everywhere, only 1/3 of his steps actually move forward. The rest is left or right. Oh, look at that, because and then swooping over that. I dig it. Maybe that's why when you look at the photograph of the crime scene here, look at all his footsteps. They're all pointing different directions because he's been waltzing. He's been literally waltzing, Dermo. I'll just play some more.
It's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. What question? What exactly did he say? Well, now, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. He's the horse. He's the one that's been creating all the dung I've been talking about. Very literal. Been pooping a lot in the antechamber. Don't you, Mr. Writer Man?
Out with it, you yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
Well, in truth, I asked, what do boobs look like? I have never found out. I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Oh, yeah, I was talking before about chasing the crab. Nice, we're going back to that. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man. So after I caught the crabs, I asked her if she would consider dating a man who had caught crabs. She misunderstood. But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. I like that both of our witnesses here are very, a lot of flourish in the way they describe things.
Ray. I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan from the dead English woman. I nearly jumped out of my skin!
Ha! But what did you ask her, Soseki-san?
I asked her, who did this to you? It's a good question, right? I think you would appreciate this question. Don't protract this any longer! How did the woman respond? She didn't! She said nothing in response. She just gurgled a little bit. But... when in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously! Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony! I will! I think that went well. But I asked her, who did this to you? But she never replied. Let's save really quickly here, because there was still one more statement after this that we haven't pressed yet. I want to see what happens if we press that one first and then like come back to this one, because I have a feeling if we press this one, it might like advance story stuff, right? Oh, we no longer see the, oh crap, and I saved over that spot, so now I can never see, oh crap, I did it wrong! And I will never see what the answer that pressing would have been! I need to stagger my saves every time I save. I mess up things. I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Eglin said, writing left to right would mostly make the mark on the left-hand people. Speaking from experience, I assumed top-down would create more smudge opportunities for both hands. Well, especially like if you're top-down right to left for your right hand. Top-down left to right, I think wouldn't get as much. And Beer with the Lurk, thank you for the Lurk, Vero! Good to have you here. Beer said, waking up. Crystal doing the shout-outs. Said, me fixed my phone. Okay, good! Crystal says, yay. Queen says, what? Does Logan not have a short clip? Crystal says, what? Queen says, I thought that was only Nora. Crystal says, let me see again. Shira said, imagine having mods. Queen Katie with question marks. Crystal said, yeah, it's blank. Queen Katie said, try me. Crystal says, yeah, broken. Queen Katie says, dang. Okay. Takes notes from Spaceman. Catheli says, shoyu is a type of soy sauce. So yeah, shoyu ramen means it has shoyu-based broth. Interesting. I just remember that from Aoi Asina, because I made a dumb joke about, you want to see my favorite? I will show you. It was one of my early TikToks. Did not play well. Pin message written by Shiro, pinned by Vera, said, please pin, whether you press statement 4 or 5, both statements would have changed. You can only press one of them without reloading the game. I know, the game is mean, but I'll never know how we got to that point. I would like to think that maybe it would have had the same dialogue. But thank you very much, Shiro. So at least I'm not missing too much. But it still bums me out anytime the game's like, no, this content that we crafted, you don't get to experience it. You're not getting your full money's worth here. But thank you very much for the pin message. And I'm still caught up on YouTube, Shiro. Just saying. Queen said, yes, Yap King. Crystal says, Space Robo Man. Keep yapping about space, please. General, serious? Oh, okay. He's serious about it. Okay, I asked her, who did this to you? But she never responded. And what's the other statement here? She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant. Was Medimemo standing behind her? Or was there something else behind the defendant, like the hole in the wall or something? As we'll probably end up using for the, is the diagram. We'll find out where she was standing and she was, pointing at the hole past her in the wall. I asked her, who did this to you, but she never replied.
Huh. So you tried to find out who the culprit was? He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Twice? Twice? When was the other time he was labeled a criminal in England? I was quick to make up my mind. Am I forgetting some little other thing that he got in trouble for? Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever.
Oh, you know what? That is good sound logic, though.
However, you indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the English woman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stoop and mustache because I'm Japanese.
Oh, it's not that. It's 'cause you're ugly. Oh. Oh dear. So Seki-san has really developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
Responding to racism with more racism just makes the world more racist. But good old Eugene Mikatoba loves racism, so I ain't complaining.
That was Eugene saying that. That was not me.
Hot take. Don't like racism. Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia.
But the English woman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Riderman?
Well, yes, all right. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant.
Hold it!
So we're probably gonna like show him the diagram and say like point out where everybody was. Well, we'll get this figured out. Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. So Seki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut...
Oh yeah, you see the diagram, huh?
The English woman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the English student standing on the far side of her.
So once we get this, we'll probably be able to present as evidence the photograph that shows a hole in the wall at optimal stabbing height.
The English woman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the English woman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut.
See, she's not pointing at Ray, she's pointing past her at the wall from whence she was stabbed.
Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today.
We got this. There's no problem at all.
No.
So, Seki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
Fiddlesticks, I say. I am so sorry. Please forgive my French. That is French, right? The Western language is confused in my head.
This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese, not by saying fiddlesticks.
Yes, of course. The English woman did point her finger toward the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing a slightly different direction. She pointed like this, one finger at the back of the hut, and 3 fingers at me, and a thumb kind of at a slightly different angle. Don't trust the thumb. But that's 3 fingers at Soseki. Actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. To somewhere at the back of the hut where nobody was standing at all. So the murderer is a ghost.
You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
Yes, that's it, unclear. It's very, very unclear.
Objection!
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt.
Again, reagent, pen, test for poison. Boom. We don't need to be doing any of this crap.
Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assassin. Why? Because, as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. Let's get to the point. Let me point to the photograph where there's a hole in the wall. Let's say, I'm gonna read some more in the chat. Let's see. Queen Katie says, oh, okay, so the threat would be, we'll freeze to death if this man dies, connected to the sun. That's what I would say, because yeah, our sun is only medium-sized. It's not big enough to explode, but then again, the random person doesn't know that. And so if you want to, like, fudge the science for the sake of drama, like, working at a planetarium has ruined so much sci-fi for me, because, like, that's not very realistic. Queen says, my goodness, he's popping off. Yes, thank you. Vera with the unlurk. Crystal says, Vero, hearts. Vera says, I used to be good at waking up from my first alarm, sad face. Then Vera says, Crystal, Vero, I was asking, like, so with the update on your eye, you said the doctors have kind of given up on diagnosing it, that it's nothing awful, but is your eye, like, getting better? Is it improving? And Shira says, Logan built up his hopes only for them to be dashed. That's like my love life, yeah. Queen says, quote, a secret makes a woman, an actual quote from Detective Conan. Crystal says, what's the secret? A period? See, that's what I mentioned before. Today's TikTok video was Susato making a joke about menopause and periods and stuff like that. And TikTok seems to be demurring from showing it to people, even though the people they're showing it to is getting a good ratio of likes. I think it's a funny clip, but I think it's like detected the word menopause and period, and it's like, oh, we can't show this. This is inappropriate. Let me take a look over the YouTube chat. More stuff is happening there. I gotta scroll up a bit. Shiro says, I'm doing stuff on the side, and no one is helping me flood this chat to make you fall behind. Derwin says, I'm also doing stuff. Grim says, I'm still here. Cult leader Logan, I'm not a cult leader. Derwin says, Grim. Grim says, I have been lurking. I am done playing Roblox. Dermo says, me and you both, Soseki/HJ. Grim said, BRB, gotta check something. Shiro says, a ghostly murder. Fascinating. I wonder if this will tie into the Hound of the Baskervilles, because that was the one Sherlock Holmes story that had stuff that looked like it was going to be supernatural. I am inclined to agree. Oh, wait, with what? What did Ouchie say? Pointing the victim there. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No! The headline's writing itself here. Dashing lawyers hopes dashed. 92 points across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be okay. Easy. She was pointing the hole in the hut. Many Memo is the culprit, and the evidence is the poison in the pen. Jezil Brett tried to use it right. No ink came out. Taps on her tongue. Poison gets in her. Dead. And stabbed for good measure. I don't know why he did both. Maybe he gave her the pen, thinking like, hey, you gonna do that? And he's like, oh crap, she didn't do it. I'm gonna run around to the back of the hut and stab her. And then he gets around here not knowing that she did that then, and then goes to stab her, and it's like, oh, I guess it was a bit much, but it's fine. Or maybe he just stabbed her in order to hide the fact that she was poisoned. You know, just like, but then why take the poison in the first place? Just stab her. Just have that be what kills her. Oh, well.
The judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet.
Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need.
Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed.
The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, She suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back. Did we check to see if the swan was poisoned too? Swan looks very dead. Someone should check the swan. Maybe before like tap it on her own tongue, tap it on the swan's tongue.
How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question.
I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add.
So, the gallant Yoko student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter. I'm going to save just in case the specific whatever argument or piece of evidence isn't readily apparent. But you guys have seen, I've got this all figured out. I feel so good about how I'm doing in this case. Although, watch me be wrong, and then it'll completely destroy all my confidence in this game for the rest of our playthrough. But at the moment, feel pretty good.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she, it could be a girl, it could be a lady, stab the victim?
I know how.
Objection!
Hiya! Hey!
Boo! Ha! Ha! Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Oh! To what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? Oh, none exists.
Objection!
Huh. There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all of her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger at the killer's direction.
This is fiction! Fantasy!
I mean, technically, Ouchie, yeah, Ouchie, you are not a real person. You're a fictional character in a video game. Ouchie, I don't know how to break this to you. Very well! As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. Better not be creationism again. So young, Ryutaro Naruhodo!
Oh yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Okay, I'm gonna save again. And it should be just beyond the wall, but I'm gonna save in case the game wants me to click like exactly the wall or something like that. So we want right there. Where exactly you're proposing the culprit was concealed? Yeah, just there. Just there.
Take that!
Naruhodo-san would never give up. And I'm a Naruhodo now. Just by fraud, but still. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut. No one out pieces the hut. That's true. Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. It's a girl. Order, order, order!
But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire, that makes no sense at all!
We'll probably have to present the photograph, show the hole in the hut, yeah.
You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was trying to get my scoop snap. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. Didn't see any. Didn't say I'm not one myself,
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Ouchie, there is a way. Ha! And in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing! You're bluffing! I didn't finish, Judge! I didn't finish what I was saying. Judge, look at the history. You yokel, that was worth it. The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut?
Save. It's gonna be the photograph that shows the hole in the hut, right? let's save. Save. Yeah. That's what it should be, right? And that's gonna be this photograph, because you can see the slot right behind the stool. So it's gonna be this one right here. Present! The original photographic print of the crime scene? Indeed. By the way, chat, Twitch side of the chat specifically, we're almost to the 2.5 hour mark. So now's a really good time to start keeping an eye out for raid suggestions. Just saying. Let me read some chat for a bit. Queen Gator said, actually, let me have a sip of water first. I'm getting thirsty. Queen Katie said, just secrets in general. The person who said this quote is a master of disguise, by the way, and a literal killer. Magpie said, if you want to see trauma, you got to play the Leighton Crosser. I want to! It's just tough to find a way to A, legally obtain a copy, and B, stream it. Queen Katie said, oh, Logan, oh, that was pinned earlier. Said, basically, they nerfed the secret boss, but in a way you can still pick the nerf or go hardcore. Hey, if you die the first time, they give you the option of nicer versus meaner. I like that! Because you guys told me that they already had nerfed the secret boss. I kind of want to try meaner. I don't know what that entails. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe I'll go nicer. I can't remember how you guys said that worked. But I'm looking forward to it. Fira said, dude, genuinely not sure what I'm doing comics again, but I know the next time I do it, it'll be a much zoomed in version. I guess the other option is that, like, you can just watch as other people read it to you. That's probably not very fun. I got to get back to where we stopped it at a really random time. I still don't know why and how Sentinel is back. It should be soon. Hashtag hopefully. Eglin said, I can't remember my dream last night. To be fair, I hardly slept at all because I was worried I wouldn't wake up early enough to be prepared for the parade. See, that's it. I did not sleep well last night because, as I said, I needed to be up early this morning. So that's understandable. And Eglin said I had to wake up at 7 a.m. and went to bed at 3 a.m. or so, and I woke up every 30 minutes or so to check the time. Vera said, gosh, I hate when you have something to do and your body won't let you sleep. Like, that happens to me every time. Every time I got to get up really early, my brain or my body or whatever psychs myself out and doesn't let me sleep. And Vera says, I hope you took a well-deserved nap after the parade. Eglin said, not in the slightest. I did get funnel cake at the fairgrounds, though. And Vera said, speaking of funnel cake, this reminds me of the first time I learned a funnel cake. It was from a Transformers show where a character liked funnel cake topped with sardines. That was my first experience with funnel cake. I don't think I've ever had funnel cake. Because, like, fairground foods tend to cost money. And Queen Katie salutes, and Vera says, salutes, happens to the best of us. Astrodude said, AA Wiki, full transcript. Oh! It does. Maybe I have to check that out when I'm done with the game. I did not know that. They have a full transcript. That's amazing. Let me look at the YouTube chat. Shiro says, fascinating. Derma said, did he give her the wrong pen? Whoops, accidentally brought my murder pen instead of my writing pen. That'd be very bad to get those mixed up. Derma says, I doubt it, but I like that theory. And then Shiro says, do you have it figured out though? Well, again, he definitely stabbed. He put the poison in the pen, and that was his pen. It was definitely his pen. It has his initials on it, has the logo of the show you news, whatever. He gave it her. They've been showing the whole tapping on the tongue thing as I think a foreshadowing hint. The people do that generally for pens, not pencils, to get the ink flowing. So it makes sense that because it even said in the thing about it that he can either get through a wound or through the mouth. So that's how it gets into her system. So that all checks out. The only other twist could be if maybe Ray Membami was also trying to poison her, that maybe she stole the pen from the guy, put the poison in it, and maybe they are both guilty. I don't know. We'll just see. We'll keep going here. It is entirely possible. The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Objection!
Like, seriously, how is nobody else seeing this?
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
Well, since he asked the question, you're only a fool for a minute there, ouchie. Soseki says so.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Huh. Someone at least appears to have noticed what it is I'm referring to.
It's getting nervous. Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court.
Drop some F-bombs, show some nudity, do some on-screen drugs. We need explicit content. It's what the kids are into. Where in this photograph is the trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place from outside the hut? And we want to go up here, right there. Yeah, move it over a little bit. I want to move over to the right a little bit. There we go. There we go. And present. Oh, I should probably save. No, I'm just going to present. I know it. Present.
Look closely here.
Oh, it completely shifted around. There we go.
It's the screen at the back of the hut. You can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No! I did the wrong voice.
No, I can't see any such thing.
Wait, you can't?
I can't see any such thing.
You need a new prescription? Bro!
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary! It turns out knives are thin!
Yes. Huh? The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. Ha! And of everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed.
Is the game going to make me suggest, or is the game just going to say, you know this? You know this. It's right in many memo.
Oh, there we go! Write 10 many memos on It Could Only Have Been You.
We got it. It's getting dramatic. I'm going to read some more comments in the chat. I got to get caught up. I gots to get caught up. Shiro says, please pin whether... Oh, that was pinned earlier. Thank you again, Shiro. Queen Katie smiling. Shiro said, me and Katie laugh in IRL, I'm sure. Am I somehow wrong about this? Queen Katie said, no, I wanted to be realistic. I don't want to feel dumb writing a space fantasy story with aliens and guns and magic powers. Okay. Well, there you go then. Vera says, unsure. If I remember way back when all I could see is black, but that's definitely gone after 2 months, but my vision is blurry. It's never consistently blurry, though. Some days is better than others. Can you get a monocle? I asked on Discord, can you get a monocle? That'd be kind of dapper and cool. Vera says, I can see text as long as it's big enough. They gave up on a diagnosis and just gave me a vague umbrella term for a diagnosis and told me to get an MRI every few months to see if things are getting better. Oh, that's gonna be expensive. I hope you have good insurance to cover that. Says, oh yeah, and I got bleeding cupping therapy? It's surprisingly draining on the body. What is bleeding cupping therapy? Sounds painful. Said, but that's a full extent of the eye thing. And Queen Katie with a timestamp, 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 30 seconds. Only 10 minutes behind. I'm getting there. I'm catching up despite Shiro's best efforts. Oh, and I'm still caught up on YouTube, so let's play a little bit more here.
Write 10 many memos on It Could Only Have Been You. Ha! Ha! No!
I'm getting okay, I don't even have time to say anything. I'm getting so burned out on hubbubs.
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at that photograph. Again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume, as a part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
No, she got stabbed and then stood up and goes, Oh, a pin message, Vera said. Sadly, oh, hang on, it minimized. Sadly not, because it's nerve damage, so no monocle because no eye prescription can help. Darn it, I was thinking that maybe it was like a thing with the eye. Well, I mean, okay, but can you still get a monocle for funsies, is the question.
Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, she was seated and then stabbed. You don't remember this?
No, of course not. You're not? I was hoping the assailant was a knife thrower. That was like a legitimate question by me. I've always wanted to meet a knife thrower. And get the knife thrower thrown in prison! My parents were killed by a knife thrower! Unexpected ouchie lore! If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable.
I'm moving so rhythmically. Oh, like that. I'm probably gonna get motion sickness if I keep doing this too long. A stool? That's another word for duty. Duty.
Have another look at the photograph. The slit in the reed screen would align perfectly with the back of the person who is sitting on that stool.
My word! So, in fact, the victim was...
Killed whilst sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen.
Whoa!
Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day, as explained by me, a boy. Ah!
I like how in between her talking, she had a bit of a smile there.
By your silence, many Memo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge?
I think Queen Katie said we had 3 cross-examinations, so we have at least one more. I don't know why that the poison is necessary at this point. We still know that it's in there, like I said, in the pen. We got the reagent. So I don't know what his final line of defense is going to be. I don't know. It's probably just going to be prove it, I guess.
This is absurd!
I was hoping his hair would fall out again. That will do! It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Oh, we were going to that? Okay, the Fifth Amendment does not exist in Japan. In the turn of the 19th to 20th century. Okay, no, that does make sense. Yeah, they would not have the Fifth Amendment in Japan. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this man. Okay, just say not guilty, just move on. Say. Which means that the defendant, Membami-san, is innocent of the crime. The fact that we're doing this right now makes it sound like Membami's gonna be a little bit guilty of some stuff. It's probably gonna be a thing where we're gonna turn over to Susato, and she'll be like,
Do I really want it to end this way? I still have questions, and I must find answers. Oh, thank goodness! I finally made him cave!
I must say, I've never been more proud. Never. Up until now, you have been such a disappointment, Susato. So I'm not, very proud. Just a little bit. But never before more than this.
No, this can't be! The Ouchie clan can't! What of my growth? My growth of hope! Is it still there? Ooh. It wasn't all an apparition! I can't accept this! I won't!
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I mean, obviously, there's more. We have not had an actual breakdown from Many Memo. He's just standing there silently. He's gonna bust something out, right? I will therefore move to conclude proceedings.
Well, this is all very convenient.
What was the judge saying? By delivering my final verdict, and you can tell that Many Memo is not an important character because he did not have a voice told it.
This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it?
I mean, you are the murderer, bro. You're the murderer. I know you're upset that Brett was getting off scot-free. That was an injustice. This one isn't.
Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
and no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the English woman, does it? Ah. Well, it seems a little irrelevant now! Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed! It doesn't matter! I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it!
Oh, he's bringing up the poison. So yeah, we'll do the pen. Dude, reagent, pen, done. Boom, we got this, bro.
After all, the trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else!
On the new position he's at! Ha! Ha! I think it's a new one. Let's save again. We got like still 20 more minutes until the 3-hour mark, so plenty of time to do more stuff. But I'll do another call for a raid suggestion over on Twitch, or not just just raid suggestions, plural. Let's see. Queen Gate did the timestamp earlier, 2 hours, 21 minutes. And then Quita says, okay, yep, Sunday is definitely case 1 finale. And Shiro with a clip. Okay, once again, anyone who's lurking or new or does not know the deal, if someone posts a clip, we watch a clip and see what this is and see how far behind I am. Only 17 minutes ago. Not too shabby. So let's see. This clip from Shiro is titled, Ouchie finally, ... I see the thumbnail in the chat says, finally makes a truthful, so I don't know exactly, probably truthful statement. Let's see what this clip is.
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all of her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger at the killer's direction. This is fiction, fantasy. I mean,
Oh, this by
technically.
Ouchie, yeah,
Ouchie, you are not a real person. You're a fictional character in a video game. Ouchie, I don't know how to break this to you.
I look how the caption just spell ouchie as ouchie, like an actual injury. Thank you very much, Shiro! I feel like I've been having fun tonight. I hope you guys are having fun tonight. I certainly am. Shiro said Logan may actually finish this trial part this stream, but he'll have to go into overtime to do it. Here's the thing. I don't have to be up early tomorrow, but I was up early today. So in theory, I could stay up late tonight, but I'd be very tired if I do so. So it's like drawbacks either way. Vera said he got work tomorrow. No, got to be responsible. Actually, my work stuff is in the evening tomorrow. That's why I have to cancel tomorrow's stream. So I don't have to be up early tomorrow. I just have to be up late tomorrow, I guess, if that makes sense. And Shiro with a raid suggestion. Thank you very much, Shiro. Let me copy this over into my text file over here. Excuse me. So that we can check out some of these, so we get at least one raid suggestion. We'll see if we can get any more for a bit later on. Quita says he has one more testimony after this, plus yapping with chat. That's why I say Sunday would definitely finish the stream. Plus, don't forget we always have extra story content after the trial. Finish the case, I mean. And Shiro says, ouchie is blind, confirmed. Oh, look at that! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 more comments and I'm caught up to chat. Probably partly because we're on slow mode. And I'm still caught up on YouTube. Let's play some more. Let's play some more. Oh, I gotta click back into the game. Hang on.
This trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else.
Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub. His pants are so tight and short.
Wait, what are you talking about? Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up.
Well, so... Yeah, it feels like that he did the whole poison thing to distract from the stabbing. But why? Like, the poison thing still implicates him as well. Enough obscurity! Explain yourself, witness!
What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course.
Poison?
Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that correct?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means... that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed.
So is he gonna argue?
Like, yeah, I stabbed her, but she was already dying. That was just for funsies. Ha ha. Ho ho ha hee hee ho ho ha.
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood.
Oh, how refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind.
Wasn't he one of your yokels earlier too?
Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom, in whose back, and with whose blade.
But the only evidence you have for Ray Mambami is that she had the knife. If it doesn't matter who stabbed, then you got nothing on my client.
Because quite simply, the English woman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
It could be both. But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever.
Why can't we go into our can we go into our court record and like just say use this on this? I have the things. I have the pieces. Let me shove the puzzle pieces together in my brain and make an Edgeworth noise.
So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turned out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right? Oh, I'm so sad.
Seriously, she keeps dying over and over again. Order, order, order! But where does this leave us? How in that case did the poison enter the victim's body?
There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
You mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see,
And we can see the spilled wine.
a bottle of carbonated water. It's the same thing that she drank at La Carnival. Ignore the fact that it said that very deep red color. That's what carbonated water looks like. And a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either.
Oh, so somebody made Miss Brett drink it? Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes! This will make a great front page shot! Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at.
Well, you know, if you're not the bad guy, stop going like this. That is a bad guy pose.
It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Hold it!
Established? What are you talking about? Ah, don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given the person who established it was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press fodder, this is.
It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. Oh, I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. So this will be our last one. And yeah, we'll present the pen, use the reagent, we'll have this. We'll have this. Should I catch up fully to the chat? I think I'm there. Then we can turn off slow mode, maybe. See, Vero says, sadly not, because, oh, that was pinned earlier about the nerve damage. Says, I can get a monocle for funsies. Yep. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great. I don't know where you would get a monocle. Maybe just get a pair of fake glasses and, like, cut one of the things, just put it there. Balancing it might be the tough part. Queen says, quote, as explained by me, a boy with a boy voice. Vera says, so reliable, so dashing. Oh, Vera with a couple of raid suggestions. Thank you very much, Vera. I will add these over into our text file as well. Whenever I say text file, I always feel like I'm saying textile. Like I was saying back when we were playing 100 line. Wait, why am my fingers not work on buttons? There we go. So thank you very much, Vero. I appreciate that. We're copying these over. So now we've got 3 raid suggestions. Hopefully none of them will go offline before we finish. Shiro with the hydrate command. Thank you very much, Shiro. Shiro says, Logan thinks he knows how this is going. Wonder if he's actually right? I mean, I still feel good about this. I feel very proud of my conclusions earlier. The game might still be throwing us a curveball. I am frustrated the game is still not telling us what Jezeel Brett's motive for killing Wilson was, but we've got to get that eventually, right? And then Shira says, the text file makes sense. 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 46 seconds. I caught up to chat for the first time of the night on Twitch. And slow mode is now removed. And I'm still caught up on YouTube. Sorry, I had to cough. As you could clearly visually see, but yeah, lurkers on YouTube, as you see, I read every comment. I appreciate you being here, but feel free if you want to type something in, I will read it. You can pull my puppet strings. All right, let's go here. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony.
That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency.
It is. Thank you. It's got like sections and chunks. You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. Is it going to be that he only popped in to ask her that one question and then left? And it's not on the tip of the blade, so?
I'm a journo and I'm a man. I'm a man just as much as that boy over there. Ha ha! I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now because that's Memimenoism. For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us?
I do really wish that these games had a feature where that if you figure out something early, you could like tell the game and skip ahead. Like rewarding you for being smart. But I guess maybe that'd be less fun. You wouldn't have as much whimsy along the way. Complete innocence.
Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman.
That is, she wasn't dead yet. That is still a crime.
Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent.
Attempted murder is still bad. You're not innocent just of the, and not even of the poisoning.
Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her?
That is one thing I said didn't make a lot of sense. And I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, I hope Ray isn't secretly guilty. Because we've already done in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles one case of our client is guilty. I don't want to double dip that again. But I'm not sure, like... I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I still know how she got poisoned, but I don't know why he would do both. Maybe he's just thorough. I don't know.
When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat.
I mean, I guess it's possible that he could have... And this would be very elaborate. If he'd assumed that the poison itself, by constricting her pupils, would make Ray inclined to pull the knife out of her, so she would be then caught with the knife in her hand. But that like requires too many things to work out. That is too much of a Justice Keikaku type of a moment. Because one, if he was planning on murdering her, he couldn't guarantee that Ray would be in there even to take the fall in the first place. Two, couldn't guarantee that anyone else would be there to see it. I mean, he could snap the photo of it. And so I guess he'd have that as evidence. But again, he wouldn't be able to know that she would go in there. Oh well. I am going to assume for right now is that, oh, Nora, right with the party of two. Nora, unfortunately, our shout out thing is a little busted. We could try it again, but earlier tonight, it was not working. But how is your stream, Nora? What were you streaming? Let's get through this testimony, and then I will read some more in the chat, okay? But Nora! How was, okay, let's see if the shout out works. Did the same thing. We tested it with multiple people. I'm sorry, Nora! But I hope your stream went well. Let's finish up hearing this thing. I'm assuming that you're bringing in people we know, so you guys know that you know the deal of the channel, y'all, right? Okay, let's play some of the game here.
If the courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done.
Oh, that's it. That's the end. So there we go.
So you admit it then, that everything happened as I described? That you were the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the read screen? Huh. You can blame this miserable country of ours. Huh? A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like?
Thank you, Atlantic. I will check some stuff. I would like to point out, for those who haven't noticed, that the secret that I got on my birthday is the same secret that appears in the Secret Redeem. See, it's him. Seekers! It's him. He's one of my favorite characters. So, okay, I mean, let's get some background music first, and then I'll read some chat. I was fully caught up. I just barely gotten fully caught up. I promise. I will read some chat. Let's get some background music so you guys won't have to listen to awkward silence while I'm reading.
What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Stop, slap, bang in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. And yes, this is my argument for why I am innocent. As someone who spent his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. Whew. That's right, you guessed it. The pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart. She's underage.
Let's save. And now I'll read some chat because we got some bubbling background music here. Let's see. Wait, hang on, I click save. There we go. Where did I leave off? In the chat. I gotta find where it was. Oh, Crystal with a couple more raid suggestions. Oh, because Queen Katie did a timestamp. There we go. 2 hours, 50 minutes. So I'm only like 6 minutes behind. I had caught up. This counts, I think, as still staying caught up. I don't think I've fallen far enough behind. So thank you very much, Queen Katie, for the timestamp. And thank you, Crystal, for these raid suggestions here. I'm copying them over right now into my text file. So now we got plenty of raid suggestions. I appreciate all of you guys. There we are. Vera says, like, come on. He will say that and get away with it. Shira says, it's a crime, yes. However, it's a lesser charge than murder. It's still pretty bad. I mean, I guess if the options are charged with that or charged with murder. Yeah. Queen says, best first line of a testimony. I did a crime, but I'm innocent. And there's Nora saying, Nora is raiding in. We hope her tears don't mess up your stream. And Lang says, Nora, raid. We will stab you. Atlantic says, oh, excuse me. Crystal says, oh, right. Atlantic says, so it's a whisper out? Wait, whisper out? Whisper out? Crystal says, nope, not working. Atlantic says, unfortunate. Nora says, it was fun. We got our butt kicked by someone who might not have even have understanded? A thing we were saying? Wait, hang on, what were you playing? Let me scroll up to where the raid happened. Asphalt Legends. I don't know what that game is. Was it fun, though? Atlantic says, Seeker's Raid, I am broke again. Eglin said, so unrelated, but oh my gosh, I hate when people make parkour videos and start off with fails and then follow up with skyscraper parkour. I'm so entirely believing what I'm watching someone about to die. I get so paranoid about that type of thing. Did you guys see, there was I mean, obviously, don't watch this video. Don't look it up. I've never seen the video, but I saw a news report about it. There was some streamer, influencer, whatever, a few years ago went to some tall up skyscraper and decided to do a thing where he like climbed out over the ledge and did like some pull-ups on the ledge of the skyscraper. But he went pull-up till failure, to the point where he tried to pull himself back up and he didn't have enough strength left and he couldn't pull himself up and he eventually lost his grip and fell and plummeted to his death. I am like, yeah, I am with you, Eglin. I'm so paranoid that like something like that is gonna happen. I love watching like cool parkour videos where nothing bad happens. It's really neat, but I don't want that kind of stress. Queen said, man, spoiler chat is yapping in general, and it's not about spoilers, lol. Nora said, that's so real. Queen says, mainly teaching Crystal that hearing tests are real. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click the game. That hearing tests are real. Crystal, did you not know that? Johnny Bravo, 9,000. Hey there, pretty mama. Johnny Bravo here. How you doing? I decided I'm breaking up with PlayStation becoming a PC game. Sony has lied to me too many times. I'm a strong, independent gamer, and I deserve to be treated with respect. And I'm over, Sony. It's over. Understandable, to be honest, given everything Sony has been doing lately. I mean, with Xbox kind of on the back burner, and Sony switching to digital only, when you think about it, like you go to a Walmart or a Target or a Best Buy to buy a video game, it's only gonna be Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. It's just Nintendo games. But the sad thing is that like PC is already mostly digital, but I trust Steam more with my purchases than I trust with PlayStation. I got really annoyed I saw that PlayStation tried to patent a controller with digital buttons. And the idea is like, well, then you can move them wherever you want. It's just like a blank screen and you move the buttons. It's like, yeah, but that is totally what I want, to have to like look down at my controller every few minutes to double check where the buttons are, because I can't just like feel them in the reliable places they usually are. But Johnny Bravo, good to see you. Atlantic said, whisper out instead of shout out. Oh, what I meant because it was broken law. Okay, that went right over my head. I'm sorry. Atlantic says, Asphalt Legends is a racing game. I am not familiar with it. Did you guys have fun? Crystal says, I know they exist, but I don't know how they did it. I was there with my mom, went to a hearing, did a hearing test one time. And I went with her. I can't remember a lot. There was a lot of like, tell me when you hear the beep and stuff like that. Eglin says, I love parkour fails, but like above water or very low stakes fails, like falling off the stairs or something. Like into a net or a pit of foam. Crystal says, I didn't know the beeping sound, so what you hear is actually what happens in a hearing test. Johnny Bravo says, right now Nintendo is the only one that has a few brain cells left. I still, at some point, need to save up for a Switch 2. Because they're probably only gonna get more expensive as computer components get more, because I keep seeing more and more Splatoon Raiders content. And it's like, that actually looks fun. I probably would suck at it, but it looks fun. Quickita said, yeah, me and Vera were bonding over gaslighting ourselves in hearing tests while Crystal was Pikachu face in the background. Vex says, I am late, but it's for a good reason. I made pumpkin chocolate chip muffins with my grandma. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds real good. Vex, did you bring enough for the whole class? I'd appreciate some. But how are you doing, Vex? Unfortunately, we're already past the 3-hour mark, but you made it, Vex. Nora said they have a new spotlight of the game that has Iris music in the boogum. Didn't Iris do a voice for that, crap, what's the game? Where you're like the bus that's hitting things? There's some new game. I can't remember what it's called, but I think Iris did a voice for it. Nora said, in Asphalt Legends. Eglin said, I'm not falling onto concrete, but like sand or something. Crystal says, laughing. Eglin said, if you do end up getting a Switch 2, Logan, I will yap about whatever lore you're missing. I need to, at some point, I'll eventually save up. It's low on the priorities at this point. Crystal said, we are yapping in general in spoiler chat, no spoilers, but you can read them after Logan. Oh, so it's in the general channel that has no spoilers. Awesome. Nora said, the train game. Magpie says, Densha Attack, that's the one. Yes, Densha Attack. Okay, so it was a train thing, not a bus, sorry. Vex says, I wish I could mail you some. I am very good at making them and always make too many. Aw, I appreciate the thought though. Nora said, Iron Mouse is in the train game. Oh, I thought Iris was. Maybe they both are. I don't know. Eglin says, the events of Raiders have been foreshadowed since Splatoon 2 back in 2017, so almost 10 years. Nora says, look, and I'm still caught up over on YouTube. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Crap, no, I just need to scroll. Durba says, best testimony statement ever. Really Luke at me vibes. I mean, that is the strategy here. And Durba says, also, even if she was dead, it'd be mutilation of a corpse, which is still illegal. It's very illegal. I guess the distinction is it's not necessarily a capital offense. So he'll spend a long time behind bars, but won't necessarily be executed. And Nora says, oh, she is. Shiori is too. Oh, I didn't know that. I think I just had seen some post with like Iris promoting it. So nice. Okay. Oh, and then Nora says, Iron Mouse, Shiori, and Iris are in it. So, chat, we're past 3 hours. I'm caught up to chat on both sides. So I'm going to post my link tree again. I should do it more often. I think this is only my second time doing it. But here's our link tree. I'm going to cross post this over to YouTube as well. This has all of our social media, Discord invite, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, every single one of those things you could ever possibly want, probably don't want. And if you want to ignore them, you can ignore them. But it is all there, should you feel so inclined to check some of these things out. So check them out, or maybe don't. It is there. Let me tell you our schedule as well. We stream, because this is very important, okay? We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, but we are canceling tomorrow's stream because I have a work-related thing tomorrow. So no stream tomorrow. The next stream is going to be Sunday, and we're going to pick up where we're leaving off here tonight in Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Tuesday, however, will be Deltarune Chapter 5. We're getting to a very exciting point there. I feel like we got to be getting close-ish, maybe, to the Super Boss, because we've been doing a whole bunch of streams. We'll get there eventually. And then after that, we'll just continue alternating streams back and forth. You know how it works. For right now, however, we need to start populating a raid over on the Twitch side. So here's one of the raid suggestions we have. Someone playing some Metaphor Refantasio. And here's our raid message, so you can copy that over here into your clipboard, should you feel so inclined. Nora says, yay! And then Nora says, also, it's Marine's birthday today. You know who else's birthday it is? Chie Satonaka! I posted that in the Persona channel over on Discord. Queen said, thank you for the very RM stream. Crystal says, Metaphor! And then Nora says, good night, chat. Thank you all for being here and for hanging out. I love and appreciate all of you. I've had a lot of fun tonight, and I feel dang good about what I'm thinking here, even though Shiro is trying to cast doubt in my mind, which I probably deserve. Because, again, the first game in this collection, I did awful with guesses, but I feel good about this. Nora says, I did a drawing for Marine that I did, I did a drawing for Marine. I did not do a drawing for Chie, unfortunately. Aw, Crystal said, thank you for the She's Underage stream. Vera said, thank you for the very I did it, so what stream. And Vera, thank you for posting the raid message again. Vex said, good night, y'all. And then Atlantic said, thank you for the very Whisper Out stream. Well, thank you all for the stream. Everyone on Twitch and on YouTube, thank you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you for spending your time with me. Like, I look forward to this so much. I needed this. Today, as I said, was a very downbeat day. I'm gonna miss you guys tomorrow. I'm sorry that I gotta work, but have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful Saturday. We'll see you on Sunday for the continuation of this, and we've totally got this. We're right about this. For right now, I love and appreciate you all. Everyone on Twitch, enjoy the raid. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. And everyone on Twitch has rated out, so everyone on YouTube, thank you all for being here as well, including any lurkers that might still be hanging out, even though you can probably tell that we're winding down the stream now. I still appreciate you. We had a lot of lurkers tonight, I felt like. So thank you to the lurkers, and to everyone for being so active in the YouTube chat. That makes me very happy as well. You guys are amazing. Sorry that I do most reading of chat on Twitch. There still is more like stuff to read there, but I still love and appreciate all of you on YouTube as well. So everyone on YouTube and everyone watching the VOD in the future, good night as well.